Ravenhill.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, back here at Ravenhill, the excitement is building towards the 3 o'clock kickoff, about 11 minutes away. Kick-off in this year's Schools Cup final, and it's an old Belfast affair featuring two of the giants of schoolboy rugby. Yes, it's Methody against Campbell. And remember, we are online, so we'd like to hear from you on schools.finals@bbc.co.uk. That's schools.finals@bbc.co.uk. And beside me now, it's our dynamic rugby double act. You saw them at the top of the programme, Jimmy Davidson and Stanley McDowell. But we're going straight on. There's the address. I think we've already had the address. So, as part of the build-up, Denise Watson paid a visit to both schools, and Denise stopped off first at Campbell College, who've won the trophy 21 times. Their last success was 3 years ago.
1993 and 1999 were great years for Campbell College. That's when they won the Cup. Now, they haven't met their opponents Methody for 12 years, and this year, I think it's a little bit too close to call.
No, it's not, Denise. This year we'll win it.
What would it mean to you to hold the Schools Cup?
Oh, I mean everything. It's almost been a dream since, you started schoolboy rugby. That was a few brilliant to lift that trophy.
Well, we've watched the team train. Now it's time to meet the men behind the team, the coaches. So how well prepared are the team?
We're quite happy. The work rate has been high for the last couple of months, and it's a case of getting the right tempo at the right time. We're very pleased.
And to play at Ravenhill must be a dream come true for a schoolboy.
Definitely. That's in the local context. Ravenhill is the environment we'll play in. And the added bonus of it being a final, and the big crowd expected, will be super.
Our forwards aren't that big compared to most teams. We noticed that against Ince, but our backs have good pace and they can move the ball well out wide.
And just tell me again about Methody. There's going to be a bit of a row in your household?
Yeah, there probably is, because my dad, brothers and sisters all went to Methody, and I've gone to Campbell, so could be quite a contest.
How important will it be to have a good support, a good cheer there at Ravenhill?
Oh, that'll be the clincher. If there's enough support, I think we could get it.
You know, I don't believe that the Campbell boys can outshout the Methody fans, really. Give us a bit of a cheer, see how you do. Yeah!
The boys are confident. Well, so much for Campbell. Denise then made her way to Methody, who lifted the trophy last year for the 29th time. So who can blame them posing for a few photographs?
If I were never to leave him, if I were always alone, if I were never to see you, if I could set with the sun.
Another final for Methody, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is. Campbell are big rivals with us in Belfast, and played them earlier on in the season, but it should be a very tight match, and we're all looking forward to it here, yeah.
Now, of course, where there's a team to support, there are supporters, and they've been very busy in the art room painting banners, isn't that right, Eddie?
Yeah, it's very important for the team to know they've got support behind them, and hopefully cheer them on to hopefully get a good result in the match.
Who's the favourite player amongst all the girls?
I'd say to be quite a couple, yeah. The number 10 or 11 probably.
I'll find out his name for you then.
I can't wait to sing our hearts out. We're going to win the cup. Yeah, we were making flags today now, so we're doing great. We're going to win it!
You know, that guy in the front row is so familiar. He looks almost like the Lions player, the Ireland player. Jeremy.
Yeah, that was me, but I'm not too sure about the hair.
And what sort of advice would you give the first 15 now?
I'd just say get out there and enjoy themselves. Whenever you're playing schools rugby, you play with guys that you remember for the rest of your life, and certainly playing under David Wells, the coach, he's a really passionate guy, and playing rugby for Methody first 15, it really means something, and it means something to the whole school.
I think we're just a
fairly well balanced side now. I don't think we're a particularly big side. I think our pack are workmanlike, and we've got a bit of talent out behind.
And can cope with the big occasion at Ravenhill?
I hope so. I hope we can cope with the big Campbell pack as well too, to be honest with you.
Methody have been so consistent this year. It's no surprise that they're favourites to defend the trophy. But as we all know, on Cup Final Day, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. You are absolutely right, Denise. We are looking forward to this final. It is only, what, about 5.5 minutes away. Looking outside, I think we can see the shots. It's a good day, a trifle cold, a trifle blustery, but a big, big crowd as always. A very special atmosphere as always for these young players. And some of the young men, they will thrive on it, but some of the players can freeze as well. There's a shot of the crowd. It is quite magnificent, wonderful. I think this is what, the 126th Schools Cup final, and it's grown and grown over the years. I think it's the second oldest competition in British rugby. And there we are, they're all out for the day, aren't they? Methody against Campbell, as we said earlier, two of the Belfast giants. Jimmy, it really is incredible, isn't it?
It's an incredible atmosphere, and what's really impressed me so far, Jackie, has been the professional preparation of both sides. Huge squads, in excess of 30. They've been going through their routines out there. Everything looks as professional as I have seen, whether it be senior football or schoolboy football. This is really a very...
Yes, while we were watching the Gaelic, I was looking out the window and I could see them warming up. But Stanley, the front of the match programme here at Ravenhill says the field of dreams. Well, that's really what it is for young men today, isn't it? Playing in this final.
Definitely. I mean, as a young schoolboy, even as a senior player, if you don't reach the heights, you know, getting to Ravenhill, whether it's McRae Cup final or whatever, it's always a huge experience. And some of these guys will never get the opportunity to play here again. And they'll relish it. Their parents will be here, their school chums will be here. It'll be a day they'll remember for the rest of their lives, regardless of the result. It'll be a big occasion.
Now, I know Jimmy went to school in England, but you went to Campbell College, but you didn't play, did you, really?
No, I hadn't really made it that stage. Rugby wasn't my sport, and I think some of my friends have said to me, you know, maybe that was always my level, and I should have stayed at the fifths.
You'll note I didn't say that, Steph.
No.
You were a late developer.
Late developer, I like that, Chucky.
But we were saying, I mean, Methody, Campbell, two of the big Belfast schools. Belfast Ince is the other, of course. But it's a mouth-watering prospect, isn't it?
It is indeed, and you know, they've played once, funnily enough, this year only, and Campbell were 17-5 in front at one stage, and Methody came back to nip it at the end, 22-17. So they've played each other once already this year. Methody were able to get on top of the Campbell pack, but a very close game. So I think that will hold fast today.
Yeah, looking back, Jimmy, very briefly, Methody beat Campbell, as Stanley said, 22-17, a boost, but this is a new day, isn't it? And a very different day with this atmosphere.
It's all about the knockout competition, and the whole cup competition is just an immense occasion for both sides. The character counts for a lot. The maturity of the boys displayed already is very impressive. They seem calm, very collected. We watched them get off the bus, and they were very, very comfortable with everything that was going on.
And just listen to that welcome as the teams start to go out. So really, with the atmosphere building here at Ravenhill, let's hand across to our commentary team. There's Mark McCall, who's involved as a coach, of course, with Ulster and Ireland A. And leading off, a man who's commentating, I'm told, on his 25th Schools Cup final. It is, of course, good afternoon to the evergreen Jim Neely.
Well, thank you for that, Jack. What a wonderful occasion, as you said, the 126th Ulster Schools Cup final, and the most successful team in the competition, Methodist College Belfast, appearing in their 56th final, and they've won the cup on no fewer than 29 outright occasions. They've lost 25, they've shared it once. Campbell are appearing in their 36th final. They've had 21 wins, 10 losses, and 4 times they've shared it. And for those of you who have a statistically minded orientation, well, Campbell College have got a 60% success rate in terms of winning and losing. Wonderful occasion here, needless to say, a packed house at Ravenhill. We can have a look at the teams. Campbell College, first of all, Ulster School Centre, Tom Horner. Partners Neil Wallace, the brother of Ulster and Ireland outside half Paddy. Paul McCausland, the Medallion Shield winner with Methody 2 years ago, plays in the centre. Pace in the wings with sprinters John Moutry and Bill Elliott. The entire front 5 of the pack are in upper 6th. Second year in the squad. Pair of busy flank forwards with Edgy 5, Neil McComb. Well, Methodist College have no fewer than 10 of last year's cup final squad on duty. Mark Cattile, Owen Crossy, Johnny McLaughlin, Luke McCadden all played. Mark Scott, Robbie Sloan were on the bench. Rory Gledhill, Stephen Workman also on the bench. But the pack includes 2 survivors from last year, flanker Stephen Minnis, and this year's captain, the Ulster School second row, big Michael Williams. The referee for this afternoon, who has confessed to me that he's feeling very, very nervous indeed, refereeing out of Queen's University, and that's Paul Eakin in his first Schools Cup final. Referee's mic is very loud. So it's Tom Horner to start the 2002 Renault Ulster Schools Cup final, straight down to the Methodist College number 8, David Denny. And like all good Methodist sides, he's made a bit of ground. Robbie Sloan, Luke McCadden, tried and tested half-back partnership, and that's a very confident start by Methodist College. And having last year's outside half playing once again, as you did, Mark McCall, way back in the 60s, is very important.
I think Luke McCadden will be very glad to get an early touch of the ball, and a lovely touch find for him, so he'll have settled into the game straight away.
But the first line out to the men from Campbell College. Back very untidily. Campbell doing a little bit of infringing, and the first penalty goes against Campbell College. Hard to believe, given the success rate of these two sides, that they've only appeared in 7 finals against each other before. And for the record, it stands at Methody 3, Campbell 3, and 1 match shared. So this is going to be the rubber match. Whoever wins this will go into the lead. And remember, cups have been shared for the last 50 years.
Keep the gap! Keep the gap!
Methody's hooker, Ricky Walsh. That's well taken and driven by Methodist College. Slowed in behind his forwards. McCadden, well taken. That's well tidied up by Owen Crossy. He played in last year's final, but there was a knock forward, and that's going to be a Campbell scrum. So early nerves and perhaps understandable.
Understandable, Jim. It's a settling-in period for both teams. Campbell is Campbell's first set-piece possession, so they'll be glad to get their hands on the ball.
Well, the two sides met in a non-cup game earlier in the season. Methody won it by 22 points to 17 at Perry Park, having been 17-0 behind on occasion. And there's a young man carrying on a great family tradition. This is Neil Wallace, the youngest of 3 brothers. Brother Rory, captain Ulster and Irish schools. Then brother Paddy, who's now the Ulster senior fullback and Ireland A fullback. Neither appeared in a cup final, so the last hope for the Wallace family. And mum and dad Paul and Alison aren't too far away, and they'll be hoping that the baby of the family can do it. Well tidied up by Methody's hooker Ricky Walsh. There goes Denny. Good solid grafting as ever by the Methody pack, but there was a knock forward, and once again it's going to be a Campbell scrummage. Well, given that Davy Wells is coaching yet another Methodist College team to the Schools Cup final, Mark, I think a well-disciplined pack is always going to be the order of the day.
Yeah, I watched Methody play the semi-final, and they were very impressive all around the team. Didn't seem to have any weaknesses at all, but they're just showing early signs of there's a couple of uncharacteristic knock-ons.
Good strike by Thallant. McComb, the skipper, controls. Wallace wasn't the best pass in the world. That's gone very loose. This could be handy enough for Methody. Through goes Johnny McLaughlin, another survivor from last year. McLaughlin has done well. Sloan, great chance for Methody if they can stretch this. This is Denny. Mark Cattile. Oh, wonderful run by another veteran from last year's side. Terrific assault by Methodist College, taking every opportunity, and they win the penalty. A first little bit of drama courtesy of Methodist College. Well, it was all about moving this ball wide, and move it wide they certainly did. And look at Cattile. He is another year at school. He was only a 5th former last year, and he made terrific ground. Unfortunately for Campbell, there was plenty of cover.
I think Jim, Mark Cattile, he hit an excellent semi-final. It's hard to believe that he's only 17, that it's his 2nd Schools Cup final. I think he's got a big future in the game, and he's already shown his class.
Well, interesting that they haven't gone for Johnny McLaughlin who would be the regular goal kicker. It's Ryan Duffy, who's the top try scorer in the cup. Nothing he could do with this one. And they've got a terrific shot by young Duffy. Plenty of collegians present and past cheering on Ryan Duffy. Wrong side of the pitch for him, but he put it straight between the posts. Hugely important for the confidence, not just individually, Mark, but for the team to get that one over.
I just think as any place kicker knows, it's always lovely to get your first one over, especially in a pressure situation like this, and he struck that very, very well.
It was big Michael Graham who took it on for Methodist College. Just arrived at the school in November of last year, having been at Wallace High School. This is McCadden. McLaughlin, this is good stuff from Methody. Clever little chip by Mark Scott. Johnny Cartwell has done well. Campbell on the counter. Good covering by McCadden. Nicely released. It was Crossy, Kitile backing up. Good tackling by Bill Elliott, and Campbell College are penalised. Well, perfect conditions for rugby, and I think both teams responding to those conditions.
Absolutely, Jim. I just think at the moment Campbell are maybe giving just a few too many penalties away, spending a lot of time in their own half.
Well, Mark Kitile, second year on the side, son of that great collegian and now great Harlequin Wes Kitile, who captained collegians to a senior cup victory over City of Derry way back in 1983. A young man with a terrific future, equally at home at outside half, where he deputised for Luke McCadden in the semi-final, as he is at full-back. Well taken by Methody. Good pass by Sloan. This is McCadden. Scott. Nicely hauled down by the Campbell flanker, Ejike Ozugwe. Methody getting that momentum going forward, and it's a much more confident Methody now.
Two very strong centres, Jim. Both Johnny McLaughlin and Mark Scott carry the ball very, very well, get over the gain line well, and give their pack a very good target.
Little tap by Robbie Sloan. Denny trying to create an overlap. That's beautifully done by young Sloan. Kitile nicely offloaded. Owen Crossy. Wonderful support by Methodist College. Sloan. Now McCadden. McLaughlin has run into a whole raft of black jerseys, and Methody penalised for not staying on their feet. Well, this is excellent rugby.
A disappointing end to a very good move. A pre-planned scrum move. Great hands from Kitile here. Great hands from the whole Methody backline. And unfortunately, Methody then give a penalty away and give a very good territorial position away.
Johnny Cartmill, Campbell College fullback, finds a very good touch. Second year on the first 15 squad. He's a cousin of that famous Instonians family, the McKibbins. Tennis interprovincial, and hopes to go to Edinburgh University.
Jim, I think Campbell will just be pleased to get their hands on the ball. They've hardly touched the ball. They've done a lot of defending so far.
Methody very nearly spoiling, but it was the giant Neil McComb who's plucked it in for Campbell. Neil Wallace asking them to move forward. Conor Thallant has worked that back. This is McCausland. Well, they were lining up for him. Former pupil at Methodist College. Methody coming in from the wrong side. That was a fairly impressive hit by Methody's open side flanker, Stephen Workman. Johnny Cartwell can find a decent touch in the corner, then Campbell could launch something from here, because in Neil McComb they've got an excellent line-out winner. Well, Cartwell not altogether pleased with that kick, but it wasn't a bad one at all. We have played coming up to 9 minutes. Methody leading by 3 points to 0. This is Conor Thallant. That wasn't meant to go there, but it's not worked out too badly. This is good driving by Rory Kelso. Campbell trying to respond now to that early Methody score. Wallace, Horner. Bit of a knock forward there. Clever use of the blind side wing three-quarter. Bill Elliott coming into the middle of the park. So Campbell being equally adventurous.
Yeah, it'll stem, Jim, from a lovely bit of hands from Neil McComb actually at the tail of that line out to set up the drive. Methody defended it well. Campbell again, the backs will be pleased to get their hands on the ball. It's the first time any of them have touched the ball in the game.
This is Denny. Good Campbell first up tackling. I think that knock forward or that scrummage was given for accidental offside. Good work by Ricky Walsh. Clever pass by Sloan. Now McCadden trying to create something. Here comes Gatile. Good sidestep, needs support. Luke McCadden is there as well. Stephen Workman arriving first like a good open side flanker. That's a turnover, but the touch judge's flag, I do believe, is up. Campbell seemed to have regained some of the composure they lost at the start of this game, Mark.
Absolutely, yeah. They're now spending a wee bit of time Method's have. It's interesting there, the Method prepared to go from their own 22, confident that they can go through 3, 4, 5 phases.
Well taken and driven by Methodist College. In goes Workman to add his weight to things. Sloan. McCadden standing pretty close. Oh, he couldn't have judged that better, Luke McCadden. Pride Mum and Dad, Colin and Geraldine, here last year, and even more so this year.
Wonderful kick there, Jim. He looks a very assured player. Good distributor of the ball, and equally a good kicker of the ball as well. It was a nice option.
Campbell line out. Beautifully taken out of the air by Michael Willis. Not the biggest second row forward in the world, but very athletic. And that's good protection of the football. Methody having to give ground. Campbell's big hefty prop, Adam Stewart, lays it off. Horner looking for a gap. Great tackle by McCadden. Nicely scooped up though. That was Robbie Ray. Methody on the counter. Ryan Duffy. Ball was on the ground. Methodist College going forward, and they'll get the put into the scrummage.
I think at the moment, Jim, defence is the order of the day. Both defences are dominating, both very well organised, very tight and very aggressive.
Well, that emphasis on defence, Mark, goes all the way through provincial right up to international level these days, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When I was a schoolboy, Jim, we never did a defensive session.
Sloan, McCadden, Methody a little bit on the flat side. That was well struck by McLaughlin. Clever kick. It's going to be a Campbell throw, but Methody within striking distance, and if they can disrupt the Campbell line, who knows what could happen. Not much in the way of options there, and Johnny McLaughlin did quite the sensible thing.
Yes, Jim, that was a clever option. I think Johnny McLaughlin saw that the Campbell College left winger was standing very flat, and there was a lot of space behind him. Very good option.
Connor Thallen. Methody go up early. And that's going to be a free kick against Methodist College for getting themselves vertical. Taken quickly. Good bit of driving by Glenn Moore, the Campbell flanker. Oh, Horner's got underneath that quite beautifully. It's going to really stretch Gatile, and that's a terrific kick. That really will encourage his forwards.
That's a wonderful kick, Jim. Absolutely wonderful kick. His forwards will look it up from that ruck, and they'll be very, very happy to see the ball in the Methody 22. Campbell also have been very competitive in the Methody line-out so far, so it's worth them kicking the ball to touch and seeing if they can have a real go at the Methody line-out.
Nicely struck by Tom Horner. Terrific crowd on the terrace side of Ravenhill. Campbell trying to disrupt, but well pulled in. Good driving once again by Michael Graham. And McCadden given a lovely platform by his forwards, and a nice service by Robbie Sloan at scrum half. And he's taken Campbell back to halfway. Coming up to 14 minutes played. Look, McCadden just looks and admires his work. Methodist College leading by 3 points to 0. Campbell, interestingly, have shortened the line out for the first time. Well, that hasn't gone too well. Methody a little bit slow to react to that tap back. They've They've lost some 10 metres. McCadden, that's going to go straight into touch, I have a feeling. That did go straight into touch. I don't know what the dispute was about. Luke McCadden thinking that perhaps the touch judge had got it wrong, but indeed he hasn't. So they'll have to come all the way back to where it was, from where it was kicked. Neil McComb, like his opposite number, Methodist captain Michael Williams, an Ulster Schools representative throughout this season. That's well taken once again at the front by Michael Willis. Horner. Great first up tackling by Bethany, but they were offside. They had encroached within the 10 metres, and that should give Campbell College a good chance to level this game.
Jim, it was a wonderful, wonderful tackle by Johnny McLaughlin, but the referee thought he got there a wee bit too quickly and gave offside. But as I say, defence is still the order of the day. Both defences are so well organised. The game hasn't really settled down after 15 minutes, but this gives Campbell a great opportunity to get level on the scoreboard.
Campbell trying to introduce Bill Elliott into the middle of the park, coming in between the centre and Johnny Cartmill. And the tackle was spot on, but this has given Tom Horner a chance to put this game back on level terms. Tom Horner, whose dad Mark is a QC and was a fine centre three-quarter with North of Ireland, actually won a boxing blue at Cambridge University. This is young Thomas, named after his grandfather, and that's a very good kick indeed. So it's now Campbell College 3 and Methodist College 3, and we played 16 minutes. Tom Horner, who scored 44 points in the cup up until this final, including 2 tries, has got Campbell's first points here at Ravenhill. So honours even, and we played just 16 minutes of this first half. Ketile, maybe a wee bit on the long side. Well taken in by Campbell. Neil Wallace. That hasn't made touch. Well, that's well picked up by Stephen Minnis, who was the youngest of the side last year when he was in 5th form. McCadden, McLaughlin. Good, strong, elusive running. Terrific tackling, though, by Michael Willis. Penalty against Campbell College. Well, plenty of enterprise, Mark.
Absolutely, Jim. The referee's been very, very strict at the contact area, and anybody who goes off their feet or any hands in the rock has been penalised. I think both sides have got to be much more disciplined than they are being.
Well, a glorious afternoon. The sun shining into the faces of the Campbell College 15. Mark Ketile has found a very useful touch and may just give Methodist College the springboard to launch an attack. Paul Eakin telling both sides that he wants hands away from the football when the ball is on the ground. That's a good piece of refereeing. Well taken by Gledhill, the tight end prop used there as an auxiliary jumper for Methody. That's good work by the Methody pack. They've made some 15 metres. Robbie Sloan, Luke McCadden, Scott, McCadden again. This is clever. Here goes McLaughlin. Taken by McCausden, well away by Sloan. Great chance here, 2-on-1. Ryan Duffy had to cut back inside. He did have Owen Crossy outside him, but that pressure has produced yet another penalty. Bethany, needless to say, would prefer the try, but they've got the penalty, and this looks pretty kickable. Campbell College penalised, according to referee Paul Eakin, for collapsing them all.
Jim, it was a wonderful back move from Methody. Luke McCadden looping round Johnny McLaughlin, hitting Mark Scott on a very short line. At the same time, it was great defence by Campbell College, and interestingly, Methody have sort of spurned the opportunity of going for those 3 points and fancy their pack to maybe drive Campbell over the line from 5 metres here.
Well, you're not allowed to go inside that 5 metre space, but Mark Ketile's well-placed kick has given Methody a perfect opportunity. And they've got all 7 forwards in. Walsh has got to get the throw right, and he has done. Now there's the catch. Can Metheny produce one of those famous drives of theirs, which has produced tries in so many finals? They're certainly going for the line. Paul Eakin is asking for the ball to be released. And Campbell have got the penalty. Methodist College coming in from the wrong side, and relief all round. Little smile on the face of young Neil Wallace there.
I think that'll be a big boost for Campbell College, Jim. You would have fancied Metheny to drive them over there. They started the drive very well, but you can see one of their forwards, I'm not sure who, just comes out and gets a wee bit isolated. And Campbell do very, very well to turn the ball over, and that's a big relief for them.
So Johnny Cartmill has found a pretty decent touch, and the line out will go to Campbell College because it was the full penalty. Once again, it's Michael Willis who takes it at the front for Campbell College. Former Irish international number 8 Brian Robinson has worked hard with the pack this year. Wonderful kick by Wallace. He's brought it infield very nicely. Nasty little bounce. Katilas knocked that forward. Referee waiting for Campbell advantage. And he's played the advantage. Azukwe nicely laid off. Horner, great chance for Campbell if they can create an overlap. This is good stuff. Plenty of pace here with Bill Elliott. Trying to get outside Scott. Good support by Cartmill. Robbie Ray's knocked it forward. Once again, advantage being played, and the referee will bring them back. Well,
great play, Jim. Plenty of enterprise from Campbell there. A great kick from Neil Wallace. Bit of a mistake by Metheny. It's great to see Bill Elliott at last get his hands on the ball. He's got so much pace, but it's a wonderful defence by Mark Scott to get across and throw him into touch.
Bobby Sloan. Denny with the pick-up and drive, runs into a solid Campbell back row. Taken on by Minnis once again. In fact, it was Gledhill, the tight head prop. Better work by Metheny. And again, Sloan's quick pass has given McCadden plenty of room. But Campbell still keeping the pressure on. 21 minutes played, 3 apiece. And despite good work by the Metheny halfbacks, Robbie Sloan and Luke McCadden, it's Campbell still very much in the driving seat. Paul Eakin insisting that Methodist College observe the space. Nicely done, Wallace. That's McCausland. They've moved Horner wide. Elliott had come in from the left wing yet again. Again, McCausland at outside half. Neil Wallace has done well. It's a Metheny man in the way. This is Adam Stewart, this 17 stones prop. Well taken on by his fellow prop, Rory Kelso. This is the best bit of attacking by Campbell and has produced a penalty. Thoroughly deserved.
Very good play by Campbell College, Jim. Again, Neil Wallace just having a wee probe around the side of a ruck. Good strong running by the pack then, pick and goes, getting into behind the Metheny defence, and Metheny were forced to give a penalty away. Should be an easy 3 points for Thomas Horner. I think Campbell College have come into the game more and more, Jim, after that sort of first initial 10 minutes when they gave a lot of penalties away and couldn't get out of their own half. Now the last 15 minutes or so, they really have dominated the game.
Well, this is the fellow, Thomas Horner, who plays in the centre for the Ulster School side. And he's not a bad goal kicker, right between the posts. So Campbell College go ahead for the very first time. We played coming up to 23 minutes. It's now Campbell College 6 and Methodist College 3. And Thomas Horner, a little hop on a skip, and guided that quite beautifully between the posts. So 6-3. We haven't had a try yet. We've come close on a couple of occasions. Campbell College will not mind one little bit if it stays like that. Kyle, again rather long. Well taken in by Campbell. Second penalty will give them lots of confidence. Here comes Horner, who likes to run. Accidental offside by Campbell, I think, running into his own player. And that's going to give Metheny the scrummage.
Wait for me again, please. Easy. Watch and hold.
Good Metheny scrum. This is Denny. Gets inside Moore, who must roll out of the way. Sloan, McCadden. Ooh, that's a beastie of an up and under. Oh, great challenging by Scott. And Cartmill gets it away. Referee is going to take the first infringement, which was a knock forward by Mark Scott. McCadden, I tell you, Mark, as a former outside half, you'd have been proud of that kick.
That was a very good kick, Jim, and a good chase by Mark Scott as well. But Johnny Cartmill looked very composed there. The ball bounced his way and he calmly put the ball in touch.
Brief bit of a stoppage for a slight injury to a Methody player. Looks like Rory Gledhill, the tight head prop, who was on the bench last year. And it's Chris Graham, Methody's loose head prop, seems to be adjusting his shoelaces or his bootlaces.
You must wait for engage, right?
Paul Eakin insisting that you've got to go through this whole formality of saying crouch and then engage, and they engaged before they were told. Wallace, corner onto the left foot, very good kick, well taken though by Mark Tile. Ozugwi doesn't quite get to him. It was Bill Elliott who had to put in the tackle. If Methody can turn this one over, they could be in with a chance here, and Campbell College have conceded a penalty. Paul Eakin has called over the Campbell captain Neil McComb to say he doesn't want any more deliberately slowing down in this game. Well, I've never seen a yellow card in a Schools Cup final yet, and I certainly hope we don't get one today. So a good piece of refereeing by Paul Eakin. He's been pretty strict, especially with the ball on the ground, but those are the situations that can often develop into something nasty, so he's perhaps quite right, Mark.
Absolutely, we want the game to flow, and if people are deliberately killing the ball, then it's not going to help that. That was good play by Mark Tile. He was faced by a wall of defenders, used his feet very well, and bought Methody a bit of territory there. I think it's worth pointing out, Jim, that Methody are playing into a slight breeze, which is probably why they didn't go for a goal there, and why Campbell's kicks just seem to be going that wee bit further than Methody's at the moment.
This is Walsh. Well, it's well pulled in by Denny after the initial tap was a bit awry. Paul Eakin not letting that go and giving the scrummage, which is going to go to Methodist College. We have had coming up to 27 minutes of this first half played. Methodist College, the holders, trailing by 6 points to 3 to old Belfast rivals Campbell College. They last met in 1990 when Alan Hunter captained Methody to a win. Here's Stephen Minnis, one of the survivors from last year. What great strength. Knows that he wasn't tackled and kept on his feet. Sloan, good pass. McCadden. McLaughlin once again making ground. Great pressurising now by Methody. Well away by Sloan. McCadden, Cattile. Couldn't get the pass to Duffy. But some very impressive work from the base of the scrum by Robbie Sloan. And slick handling. Cattile does time a pass beautifully, and I think Ryan Duffy was maybe watching to see where the cover was.
Very well orchestrated move from the scrum, Jim. Stephen Minnis running very, very strongly, bringing Johnny McLaughlin down the middle, and just a wee bit unfortunate at the end not to get a try in the far left-hand corner.
But a Methody try now would certainly swing the game back into their favour. That's a terrific kick by Wallace. Well positioned again by Cattile. Nice show of the ball by McLaughlin, who's been well held by Glenn Moore. Sloan. McCadden for position. Lovely bounce. Bounced into touch and then went over the dead ball line, but it was the fact that it bounced into touch first has given Campbell the line out on their own line, and he couldn't have judged that more accurately. Your old pal David Humphreys would have liked that one, Mark.
It's a beautiful kick by Luke McCadden, but again, very, very mature play by Johnny McLaughlin. In a bit of trouble, but didn't panic. Recycled the ball and give Luke McCadden the chance to get themselves in a very good position.
Well, the all-important line out now for Campbell College. Conor Thallen, who's thrown very well. And that's nicely taken once again by Campbell College. Wallace has to dig it out himself. Now that kick has been brought in field once again. That's well taken by Owen Crossy. May well have given that. He had 4 men outside him. Good pick up by Sloan, who's had a terrific afternoon. And he's won the penalty. Hands coming in, but it was a very good piece of play by Robbie Sloan, the Methodist College scrum half.
Listen for the word hands away, yeah? Listen for hands away.
Well, Robbie Sloan continuing a great tradition. His uncle, who was a great colleague of ours here at the BBC, the late Clive Sloan, whom we missed so badly, scored the winning try for Methody in the Schools Cup final of 75. His other uncle, Marty Sloan, played in the Methodist College team that won it in 1979. And his dad, Gary, captained both Methodist College and Collegians. So Ryan Duffy having kicked the opening penalty to level this game as halftime approaches. He scuffed that a little bit, and he's pushed that wide. Well, the contact, you could almost hear the contact from here, Mark. He just didn't catch it right.
No, he didn't strike that at all well, Jim. That was a fairly straightforward kick. But Methody are still in the Campbell territory, and they'll want to get a score before half-time if they possibly can.
Well, it wasn't too far away, but it simply wasn't good enough. Tom Horner to give his forwards something to chase. Again, he's put that a bit on the long side. Oh, Minnis has kept that in cleverly. This is Crossy. Good solid piece of running. Terrific tackle by Glenn Moore. Great support work by the Methodist College forwards. Sloan digs it out. McCadden. That's an interesting kick. It's going to sit up rather awkwardly, and Cartwell will just have to let it go. Now, did he touch that, or is that going to be a Campbell line-out? It's going to be a Campbell line-out. Well, McCadden's kicking has been pretty spot on this afternoon, Mark.
I think Jimmy's been forced to kick quite a lot by the strength of the Campbell defence. He's probably having to kick the ball too much for Methody's lacking. It's a Campbell line-out. Campbell have done very well in the line-out so far, and at the moment they're just giving possession back to Campbell. It'd be nice to see them keep the ball in hand just a wee bit more.
Penalty against Methodist College. Ulster coach Alan Solomon's there with his good lady wife, and on the other side of her is the Ulster assistant coach Adrian Kennedy, two men well known to you, Mark. It's been a pretty good season, and needless to say, no doubt you're looking forward to next season as well.
Yeah, well, this season hasn't finished yet, Jim. We've still got a couple of interprovincials to play, and we're busy preparing for those, but it's been a frustrating time of year with Six Nations and stuff on. It'd be nice to get back to business again.
Listen, the summer will go over very quickly, and you'll be back to Porridge before you know it. Good taken drive by Campbell College. That's the best piece of forward rumbling they put in all afternoon. Azugwi tries to take it away. Just a couple of minutes to the interval. Very little in way of injury time, but Methody have turned that over and have regrouped. Sloan gets it away nicely. This is McLaughlin, such a strong flank forward, and Methody have done well. Sloan again, McCadden. Scott. Taken by that former pupil of Methodist College in McCausland. And another turnover, this time in favour of Campbell. Stewart. Robbie Ray, the vice-captain. That's a good run by Robbie Ray. Elliott was wide. Good cover tackle by Sloan. Here comes Moutry. Needed to give that one. Still could work out all right for Methody. Michael Graham took it forward. And a little bit of obstruction, I think, pulling back David Wells and former Ulster senior referee Alan Watson, who's been helping out, former Schools Cup medal winner himself, not altogether enamoured with that decision, but it was the right decision, and this could make it very interesting because, well, 9-3 is not certainly an insurmountable lead by half-time, but Methody won't want to concede any more points than that.
I think, Jim, it's we said before the match it was going to be a tight affair, and I think it's going to go to the wire. It's going to go the whole way. Neither side can really impose themselves in the game. The defences of both teams are still very strong, and the game is just ebbing and flowing.
Well, Thomas Horner has got 2 successful kicks from 2 attempts. This is the most difficult of the kicks he's had to attempt so far. Good solid contact, he needs to pull that in. Beautiful kick. That is a little gem from Thomas Horner. We have got about a minute of normal playing time to go to the interval here at Ravenhill. And Thomas Horner, named after granddad, retired consultant. Tom will be very pleased with that. The whole family will be pleased with that. But what a terrific kick that was, right on half-time mark.
That was a great kick, Jim. I think the breeze is actually getting stronger and stronger. I think Campbell need to have that lead of 6 points. In fact, it may not be enough.
Mark Cattile has put that along once again, and Horner himself takes it on the full. Good thumping tackle put in by Michael Williams, Method's skipper. He's still struggling with a bit of an ankle injury. Now Sloan, McCadden, McLaughlin. McLaughlin seems to have trouble with his feet. That's the third or fourth time he's slipped, and I suspect he maybe hasn't got the long studs in. Now McCadden, forced to kick because of a well-organised Campbell defence. Cartmill might just have come off a Methody hand. The touch judge decides otherwise. Paul Eakin has a little glance, and that was well taken by Johnny Cartmill from Luke McCadden's kick. So we could be well looking at the very last set piece of this first half here at Ravenhill. Methody used Stephen Minnis as an auxiliary jumper. Just about got away with it. Sloan. Well laid back. They need a scrum half. Minnis obliges. The ball was out, and Campbell might just have stolen it. Need Wallace. Horner well positioned. Lovely kick down the line, but it's nicely taken by Owen Crossy. Now Cartmill. A little bit of tennis going on here. It's maybe a little bit too far. That's going to be a 22 dropout, and Campbell are where they want to be, and that's pretty close to the Methodist College line. So coming up to 2 minutes of injury time played. Mark Cattile to restart for Methody. Campbell will be more than pleased with that 6-point lead, but will it be enough with a strongish breeze in Methody's favour in the second half? Cartmill. Cattile takes it nicely. Tap. Well, that was very good, considering it was Cartmill who put the ball down to him. He realised that Campbell didn't have a full back, but they've got Tom Horner deputising. And Horner has not found his touch. This is Scott, goes all the way back. He's got McLaughlin with him. Elliott in the way. It's all rather nervous stuff, and Cartmill pops it into touch. And that's the end of the first half. Quick thoughts from Mark McCall?
Very tight, Jim. It's a hard one to call at the moment. As we said through the commentary, it's been dominated by the defences of both sides, who are very well organised, work very, very hard. There's not much space out there at the moment. It may just take one moment of genius to win this game.
Well, there's the man who's kicked 3 penalties for Campbell College, Thomas Horner, to one by Methodist College's Ryan Duffy. So the half-time score in this, the 2002 Renault Schools Cup final, Campbell College 9 and Methodist College 3. Thank you very much indeed, Jim. There we are, half-time. The holders, Methody, are trailing by 9 points to 3. Jimmy Davis and Stanley McDowell are here. The boot of young Horner's working very well, isn't it?
Excellent. Campbell have had 3 scoring opportunities, and they've taken all 3. On the other hand, Methody have had 3 scoring opportunities, and they failed with them. One, they took a bad decision not to take a penalty. Duffy missed a penalty, and then he could have been in on the wing because Cattile made a beautiful wee break, set him clear. So Methody really will get a bit of a blasting from Davy Wells.
Yeah, they made a bright start, Methody, but then they lost the momentum, didn't they?
Well, it's certainly them playing a very fast continuity game where they're moving the ball away from the point of the defender as quickly as possible, and they were proving very successful with that the first 15-20 minutes. as Jimmy pointed out, their decision to go for the penalty into touch as opposed to for goal, and Campbell kept them out, and it's really got the Campbell pack into the game, and they've subsequently slowed up the Methody ball at the ruck, and it's really got them into the game from then. Okay, we can go pitch side at the moment. Former Ulster and Ireland hooker Alan Clark is there, and he's talking to Stephen Watson. Stephen.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Jackie. Yeah, a bit of surprise down here on the touchline, I have to say. Methody, the holders trailing. Alan, were you surprised at that?
Yes, I am to a degree, but you'd have to say that the Campbell fringe defence has certainly disrupted the Methody flow and the rhythm that we've seen in the semi-finals and up to this stage.
Yeah, good defensive work by Campbell first half.
Tremendous round the fringes, and they're stopping any picking and going so that the Methody backs aren't really getting any good first front foot ball.
Now, for you as the director of the elite player development and keeping an eye on our young players, this is obviously a very important day for you as well.
This, along with all other school matches, but the main message from our point of view is that this isn't the end for schoolboys. This is part of the process and part of their pathway to hopefully bigger and higher things.
Yeah, too often schoolboys come to this level and they think they've reached the pinnacle if they win a schools cup, but you're trying to progress them now and bring them through as future Ulster and Irish players.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to identify them at a young age and then ensure that all provisions are made for them that will fast track them and develop them whilst looking after their education and career.
Great, let you get back to the stand, enjoy the second half. For now, back to you, Jackie.
Thanks very much, Stephen. I've got an email here from Michael of Belfast. Come on, Methody, Michael says, we're going to win. Let's get our name on the cup again. It would be a record 30th time if they did win, but they're trailing by 9 points to 3 here at the moment. We've got a drummer outside. I hope you can hear us. He's hardly Gene Krupa, but he might be a Campbell supporter. What are the coaches saying?
I think what we will see very clearly is McCadden, who's been kicking tremendously well at outside half for Methody, will be using the wind and pushing Campbell back down into the 22. That's going to be obviously going to be their intention. Sloan and McCadden have a great relationship. The Methody pack have been winning enough ball to be able to let him kick against the wind and still gain a lot of ground for Methody. So I'm certain that'll be the first thing they do. They'll find position and then they'll start to dominate with their pack.
But it's been an ordinary final in many ways, Stanley, and as Mark was saying in commentary, it needs a bit of magic, a bit of flair to lift it. Yeah, and from my point of view, I can see that coming from the Methody side more than I can the Campbell at the minute. Gatiles, certainly his counter-attacking has been really superb, and Campbell are going to be under pressure in this half now. They're playing into the wind to come up with that type of counter-attacking ability. Here's a great early break from Mark Gatile of Methody. Opening minutes. Yeah, he got the ball here and he just stepped in, steps again here, the fullback. Gained about 30 yards. It was just a pity he didn't have anybody on his shoulder there. But you can see Campbell have scrambled, fended very, very well, and they got back to subsequently slow up that ball and created the penalty opportunity for Methody. Yeah, it took Campbell a while to get back into the game, didn't it, Jimmy?
Well, immediately after failing to take the penalty by Methody, Campbell then forward started to dominate, and they created one beautiful drive up the touchline, which then led to them being able to spread the ball wide. And I think...
Jimmy, I must interrupt you. As you can see on your screens, we're about to restart. The second half is right now. Back to Mark and Jim.
Well, unlike their senior counterparts, these young fellas only get a 5 or 6 minute break at half-time. The internationals and the Ulster players go off and in some cases get themselves nice new jerseys. They don't need it here because it's been a glorious afternoon. That was a glorious little jink by Thomas Horner, score of all Campbell's 9 points in the first half to give them a 9-3 half-time lead. He'd be less happy with that particular kick, but it hasn't worked out too badly. John Moutry, score of 3 cup tries and 10 so far this season, has taken it well. Methody looking for that turnover. That's a good piece of defence by Methody's Ryan Duffy, because he found himself in the middle of half a dozen Campbell players.
John Moutry did very well there, Jimmy. He was under an awful lot of pressure. It was a great catch. Just before that, there was a tremendous break from Thomas Horner. Took the ball very, very flat and got over the gain and again, just nobody on the shoulder just to take it on.
Good disrupting by Campbell College on the Methodist College throw. Methody have stolen that one illegally, it seems.
Silly play by Methody there, just a very, very soft penalty to give away.
Yeah, Michael Williams being told in no uncertain terms by Paul Eakin that Campbell had quite clearly won the ball, and the Methody hands in there were strictly illegal, and he's told him not to do that again. Well struck by Johnny Cartmel. Cartmell's hardly put a foot wrong all afternoon. His touch finding has been excellent. Conor Thallen, a bit untidy, well away by Wallace. Horner, lovely little dummy. Good running in from the wing once again by Bill Elliott. They keep bringing him in at every opportunity. Metheny coming round offside. Culprit might well have been the number 8 David Denny, and this will give Horner an early chance for points. You know, 6-3, then 9-3. 12-3 would make it very tough for Methodist College. Now, to be fair to them, they were 17-0 down when they met in a friendly game at Perry Park last November and came back to win at 22-17. But this is the cup final.
I think that's right, Jim. David Wells will be very frustrated. We just give away 2 penalties in a row there. Both deliberate penalties, very, very softly given away, and it's probably going to lead to 3 points for Campbell College here. I've been very impressed by Neil Wallace. He got that ball away from the line spectacularly. His service all day has been very, very good.
So 3 successful kicks. Is it going to be 4 out of 4 for Thomas Horner? It looks good from here. That's another gem. Just 3 minutes of the second half gone. Thomas Horner, 3 penalties in the first half, now 1 in the second. Made no mistake, you couldn't get better than that. Textbook kicking from Thomas Horner. And with just over 3 minutes of the second half played, the Campbell College outside half has given his side a 9-point lead. And Metheny, the holders, will have to up the ante considerably. This is Campbell's skipper, biggest man in the park. Probably the biggest boy to play in a Schools Cup final since Jeremy Davidson of Methodist College. There's an air of confidence now about Campbell. Katail. Azugwi's up there quickly, as indeed was Horner. Mutri had to get out of it. Well, that's another turnover, and I've never seen Metheny concede so much possession in a final for a long time. That's a nasty hanging kick. That's okay. Chris Graham, Metheny's loose head prop, covered back well. Sloan, McCadden. Cartmell well positioned. Has he judged that nicely? Nope, hit the line. And if it's on the line, it's in touch. But unfortunate there for Cartmell, who's had a terrific game so far, Mark.
Yeah, it's a crucial period of the game, I think now, Jim. I think the next score is going to be absolutely vital. If Campbell were to score again, it's going to be a very, very hard climb for Metheny to get back into the match.
Well, that was only centimetres away from being an excellent kick by Johnny Cartmell. Well, Campbell College have lost their skipper, who's going off the field away on the far side to get a little bit of treatment. Seems to have got a bad thump in the thigh. Senior coach John McKinney straight in there. Brian Robinson, former Ulster and Irish international number 8, looking on, making a few notes. It's good refereeing from Paul Aiken, telling Metheny that he wants to keep the game going, but they are making some stupid mistakes.
Absolutely. I think Paul Aiken doesn't want to be given as many penalties as there is, but he's got no option, Jim, to be honest.
So 5.5 minutes of the second half gone here at Ravenhill. 12-3 to Campbell College against the holders Metheny. That didn't look altogether straight. Robbie Sloan did very well to tidy that in, but it was knocked forward, and it's going to be a Campbell scrummage. There's been such a lot of work done on the Campbell forward effort since the semi-final against Wallace, when a very good Wallace pack gave them lots of trouble. And this is Neil Wallace. Horner. Oh, lovely weighted pass, well taken by Paul McCausland, who's playing against a lot of his former Methodist College medallion shield winners this afternoon. Beautiful by Katail, and a clever kick in one movement. That is a delightful kick down the line by a very accomplished young footballer.
That was a brilliant bit of play, Jim. Absolutely brilliant. Campbell done very well up to then. It was actually a very good kick by Johnny Cartmell, but brilliantly handled by Mark Katail, who showed a lot of maturity.
Well, he's got another year at schools, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him. Interesting about this Methodist College side, very few of the Campbell boys who are leaving or have another year to go have indicated that they want to stay and complete their education here in Northern Ireland, but the majority of the Methody leavers this year have all said that they want to go to Queen's University or the University of Ulster, and that's seriously encouraging.
Well, Alan Clark, he spoke at half-time. He's got a big job on his hands to try and encourage as many of the best young players as possible to stay in the province and continue their rugby education here as well as their other education.
Conor Thallen for Campbell. Methody going up early again. Well taken yet again by Michael Willis, who's had a sterling afternoon out of touch for Campbell College. Neil Wallace, who's kicked wonderfully from the base of that scrum. That's just about the right angle. That's well taken. Now, was there an offside? The referee says no. Glenn Moore got up like a classic open side flanker. Wallace again. McCausland. Advantage to Campbell College. Eventually it's Cartmill. Good tackle by Ryan Duffy. Methody pulling the ball back with the hand, and again Campbell get possession. Well, a lot of turnovers against Methody, a lot of penalties given away by Methody. Not the usual disciplined Methody performance we've come to expect. Here's Cattile. Finds his opposite number, Johnny Cartmill. Cattile had chased that up, and Cartmill has put in an absolute belter of a kick to the corner. Well, he can afford a wee smile if he's got one, but this is a very serious afternoon. And the Campbellians, and there are an awful lot of them here at Ravenhill this afternoon, will appreciate that kick. That was a lovely, lovely kick. And yes, given the dynamics of a rugby union football, Mark, you've got to rely on a bit of luck. But when you put it like that, you deserve to get the rewards.
Yeah, great kick by Johnny Cartmill. Things are just starting to go Campbell's way. But every 50-50 ball, they seem to be winning. Every important decision going their way at the moment.
Well, that's how close Methody are to their own line. They've had to pick up and drive. And the first time Campbell defence has been outstanding. Sloan, McCadden with Glenn Moore right on top of him. Well, he hasn't found his touch. This is Cartmill. Good solid tackle that was by Owen Crossy. And this time it's Campbell's turn to give away the penalty. And Methody just need to calm things down, and I think Michael Williams is just saying to Robbie Sloan, let's just wait and let Mark Cattile come up and put it down the line.
I think Alan Clark made a good point at half-time, Jim, that Campbell haven't allowed Methody to get into any sort of rhythm, any sort of pattern. Something they've relied on all year. Maybe they've been able to go phase after phase after phase, getting quick ball for their very good backline. Today, Campbell College have disrupted them big time, and Methody are just struggling to get any kind of hold on the game.
Well, Mark Cattile has given Methodist College some advantage. Hasn't really made halfway, but it's a throw to Methodist College just inside their own half. Once again, Campbell robbed, and once again there's been a great bit of work done by Michael Willis. Stolen by Methody. Michael Williams, the captain. Well away by Sloan. McCadden looking for position. Cartmill finds his touch. Just over 10 minutes played. Still Campbell College leading by 12 points to 3.
Great work, Jim, by Michael Willis and Neil McComb in the Campbell College line. They obviously have done their homework, watched Methody very closely, having a lot of success on the Methody ball.
Well, just remember, just the 8th final between these two great rugby playing schools. The first was away back in 1931, won by Campbell College, and then the next in 1952. Methody captained by Dion Glass, Irish international, to be won it. Good solid run once again by McLaughlin. And again Campbell disrupt, and again Campbell are denying Methody that vital possession. Wallace, this could be interesting. McCausland runs into trouble in the shape of Luke McCadden. Corner. Now this fella can run a little bit. This is John Mutry, and this is Cartmill. Oh, well read by Cattile. Nothing wrong with that. Neil Wallace has to go back. He's going to have to play it. He's outside his 22. Cleverly done by Wallace. Good tackle by Methody. College player ran into the referee, who offered his apologies and has given Campbell the scrum. And another couple of inches, and Cartmel might well have been in.
Great play by both teams there, Jim. Johnny Moutre did very, very well. But Marketile, that could well be the moment of the match. I think if Johnny Cartmel got away there and scored, had it been a 7-pointer, that was game over. So it was a huge moment in the game.
Brief stoppage. Referee Paul Eakin having a bit of a breather, getting his communications system readjusted. There's the man who's kept Campbell College not just in this match, but kept them ahead in this match since the 16th minute of the first half, when he scored the first of 4 penalty goals. Method trying to get the squeeze on. That's a solid Campbell scrummage. Wallace. Oh, lovely wide pass. Bit of a high tackle that was by Ryan Duffy on his opposite number, John Moutre, but the referees let that go.
Maybe not a great option by Campbell College there, Jim. They're Method got possession of the ball, still deep in the Campbell territory. Campbell may have been better just to get that out of their own half if they could.
Yeah, nicely floated pass, however, by Neil Wallace, but it's given Methodist College the ball. Ricky Walsh. Yet again, Methody concede one of their own throws to the line out. Good work that was by Neil Wallace tidying up, but Stephen Minnis wrapped him up. He's got another year at school, Stephen Minnis.
Campbell College line has been brilliant today, Jim. You can see the work Brian Robinson's obviously done with the pack.
Walsh, better from Methody. Now Sloan has a go himself. Well tackled, but Sloan keeps going and has released the ball. Walsh at scrum half, giving Sloan time to get back into position. He's done well. McCadden, chance that they can move this. McLaughlin, this is much better. Nicely moved wide to Owen Crossy. And yet again, from good possession, Methody give it away. And this must be very frustrating for Davy Wells.
As we said a wee bit earlier, Jim, every crucial turnover now, Campbell doing very well at these crucial situations. Very good hands by the Methody backs. Good strong running. But the ball's turned over at a crucial time. Pressure off.
Coming up to 15 minutes of the second half played. And there's going to be 20 more minutes. Remember, 35 minutes in schools rugby. That's another very good kick by Campbell College. And by Neil Wallace. And his father-dad was a teammate of another great Campbellian, Billy McComb, at Dublin University, before going on and playing with some distinction for London Irish some years ago. Well, yet again, a Methody line-out has gone awry. Horner. Cattile. Lots of black shirts, so that's a very clever kick by Cattile. Just a little bit too far, that's going to be a 22. Cartwell changes his mind. That's going to be a Methody throw. Was that the right decision, Mark?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a good kick by Wes Cattile, but Johnny Cartman did very, very well to get it as far up as his own 10-metre line.
Well, the Methodist College support, which has been such a part of finals down the years, has been fairly muted this afternoon. That's a little bit better. Sloan, McCadden, McLaughlin inside to Stephen Minnis. They need the quick ball. This time they've got it. McCadden, McLaughlin, little probing kick into no man's land. Cartwell's going to have to be quick. And that's good pressure. That was a clever kick.
Very, very good kick by Johnny McLaughlin. And yet again, you can see that he's just faced by a wall of black shirts. There's nowhere for them to go. And they can't go around them, so they're going to have to go through them by using those wee clever grubber kicks. I'm sure they're kicking the ball far more than they really want to. But they're being forced to do that by a very, very good Campbell defence.
And the last line of that defence was Cartmel, who scooped it up very nicely into touch. Methody throw. This is Ricky Walsh. Willis and Macomb have given them huge problems. That's cleverly done at the front. This is Minnis. Nicely done. He's made the line. Referee's had a good look. And he said no try. We don't at schools level have a video referee, and the decision will have to go to the referee. Well, we can probably have another look at that. Our own video referee, no arbiter of fact. Did Stephen Minnis make it to the line or not? He swept over. Did he ground the ball? I think he did, Mark.
Looks like a try, Jim. It looks like a try. Looks like a clear try.
Drive by Denny, just to make sure. Methodist College nearly over the line. That's a penalty to Methody. They'd have settled for the try, and I'll tell you, Mark, I think that was a try.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to see that again, Jim, but it seemed to me that he definitely got downward pressure on the ball. A very clever line-out move. Stephen Minnis, very strong runner. It looked like a definite try.
Well, Methody have opted for the scrummage. This was Stephen Minnis at the front of the line-out. Now all he's got to do is get that ball down, and I think he did get it down. He was pulled off it straight away, but that was a try as far as I was concerned.
I think that was John Moutre underneath him. It was a very, very good tackle, Jim. If he was responsible for holding him up.
Well, this is the quick movement at the start. We're back. Well, Methody nearly over the line yet again. So Methody have another scrummage. A try at this stage would put a whole different complexion in this game. A little bit of an injury, and I think it might just once again be to one of the Campbell forwards. I think it's second row. Michael Willis seems to be hurt.
Jim Methody will want to come away from this position with something. This is a crucial scrum in the game. They'll have to come away with something, and hopefully, from their point of view, a try.
We can go pitch side and hear from Stephen Watson.
We played all the rugby and only ended up really three points as a result of it. Campbell have kicked their penalties, and as a result, you know, they're in a strong position at the moment. I think even since the start of the second half, Stephen, we probably haven't maintained the possession I would like us to have done so, and if we don't score now, I think the pressure's on us, to be honest with you.
Sloan, McCadden, McLaughlin. We were listening there to the brief thoughts of Methody coach David Wells, and his side still on the attack. And it's going to be a Methody scrum once again now. The important thing is with 15 minutes still to go, a Methody score here, Mark, is going to be crucial.
Absolutely crucial. I think you can see from Davy Wells how frustrated it is that they can't string enough passes to play together.
Good scrummage. Here goes Denny. Goes for the line this time. Didn't quite make it. Now Sloan. This is Cattile. If anybody deserves it, it's Cattile. He's got it. Mark Cattile in his second successive Rennes Ulster Schools Cup final gets the first try of the 2002 final, and that might just set Methody on the way to cup win number 30. Took it beautifully. For once, the Campbell defence couldn't get to him, and a clever little pass by Robbie Sloan.
I think we've seen all game that Mark Cattile has got very good feet. He took that try wonderfully well. To be fair to Methody, Methody have been the more likely team to score a try all afternoon, Jim. I think they deserved that for that period of 5 or 10 minutes of pressure, and it's now a game on.
Duffy, as he pulled it in, terrific kick, well struck by Ryan Duffy. We have played just 21 minutes of the second half here at Ravenhill, and Cattile's try, converted splendidly by Duffy, has meant that there's just a couple of points between them. Campbell College 12, Methodist College 10, and Methody now will be hugely boosted by that.
Very good conversion, Jim, very important. Puts them within a penalty goal of taking the lead.
Sloan, McCadden. Cartwell dumped, but managed to get it away to Wallace. popped into touch by Campbell, and all of a sudden the Methody tails seem to be up.
Very sensible play by Luke McCadden, getting the ball straight back into the Campbell College half. A superb chase by Bill Elliott, good tackle, and now Methody have got field position again.
By Ryan Duffy. One penalty in the first half and a conversion in the second half. 12-10 to Campbell College. Better line-out work by Methody, nicely pulled in. Sloan, McCadden. Wasn't the greatest pass in the world, and nothing even somebody as good as Mark Scott could do about that. That's going to be a Campbell scrum. So 22 minutes gone, and this, the Schools Cup, the second oldest rugby competition in the world, just behind the London Hospitals Cup. First competed for way back in 1876 when Armagh Royal beat RBAI. It's still there for either Methodist College, the holders, or for Campbell College. Neil Wallace, controlled by Macomb. Now Wallace, picked up by Moutry. Neither he nor fellow winger Bill Elliott have had a real chance to show their paces. Good switch by Wallace. Horner runs into Minnis. Horner's made that available nicely, and Cartwell sensibly takes up the outside half position. That came off a Methody player. It was Robbie Sloan, and it's going to be a Campbell throw. Sloan really launched himself through the air at Johnny Cartwell and did well to half block that kick.
A wee bit of a bounce in the Methody step at the moment, Jim. You just feel the game slightly turning in their favour.
Campbell got the initial touch to that lineup, but Methody have stolen it away. This is David Denny, one of the try scorers in the semi-final. Campbell go over there, but Sloan's got it away. McCadden, McLaughlin, that's nicely done. Kyle, good pass by Kyle. A little bit on the high side. Still there though for Owen Crossy. Stephen worked one in quickly. So too is Rory Gledhill, the tight head prop. But the scrummage going to Campbell College. Davy Wells, I don't think, too enamoured with that decision yet again. That's a bad decision, Davy Wells is saying. Amazing little fellow, this the 13th Methodist College team. He's taken to the Schools Cup final in 28 years. He's had 10 victories, he's lost one and he's drawn one. Neil Macomb with a pick-up and drive. Wallace, Horner. Trying to create a little bit of space for Bill Elliott. Wallace again. McLaughlin slow in getting back. This is Cartmill. Runs smack into Ricky Walsh, Methody's hooker. Neil Macomb has a pop himself. Good solid Methody defending. That's a clever kick by Wallace. Kyle, the try scorer. Well, he's run out of support. The support were a little bit slow in getting to him, you've got to say. Good turnover. Here goes Adam Stewart, the heaviest man in the park. Good turnover by Methody. Sloan couldn't get the pass away. And it's going to be a scrummage to Campbell College. Well, 10 minutes to go, Mark.
Still anybody's game, Jim, I think. I don't think either of us know who's going to win this game. I think it's maybe not a great option from Marketile. That time he'd been faced by 4 or 5 Campbell defenders. Much better just to pump it back into Campbell territory. They're only 1 penalty away from winning this game, but you can feel the teams are almost edgy as well.
Well, a bit of an injury, and that gives an opportunity to go back to the touchline and join Stephen Watson.
Yes, I'm here at the Campbell bench at the moment, and just a bit of treatment ongoing. I had hoped to grab a quick word with Brian Robinson. Unfortunately, he's just had to go onto the pitch, so we'll have to hand back to him, I'm afraid.
Not a problem, Stephen. Brian Robinson on the pitch, as indeed is John McKinney, the Campbell College senior coach, former wing three-quarter with CIYMS. David Wells is on the pitch having a word with his Methodist side. The Campbell College loosehead prop Rory Kelso has come to the far touchline. as Davy Wells goes off to get a little bit of attention. Anxious times here, 2 points between them, and about 13 minutes to go, plus a little bit of injury time. So as you said, Mark, still anybody's game.
Campbell have been very successful all day at slowing down Methody ball, preventing them getting fast-paced possession. Methody trying to get the squeeze on it, that scrummage. Here goes Neil McComb. Great tackle by Minnis, well released by Campbell's skipper. This is Glenn Moore, the open side flanker. He's got support from Conor Thallen, the hooker. Not much room on that narrow side, but Horner's trying to open it up. Terrific support once again by young Neil Wallace. This is the massive Stewart. Moore was in there as well. Good driving on by the Campbell pack. This is good discipline from the men in black. Into the Methody 22, trying to force at the very least a penalty. Wallace, Horner, nicely done. Robbie Ray, the vice-captain. Methody can't afford to get penalised at this stage. Johnny Cartmill, the full-back, popping up in the centre. Well released, this is quicker stuff, that's McCausland. Trying to release a bit of pace in the wing in the shape of Bill Elliott. Good covering though by Owen Crossy. Referee waiting for the ball to be released, and it's going to be a Campbell ball, and good pressure from Campbell. If they can keep this up, they're going to squeeze the life out of Methody. Brilliant play by Campbell College there. Must have kept the ball for 10, 11, 12 phases there, Jim. Everybody making good decisions on the ball. Bill Elliott got his hands on the ball right at the very end here. Almost got away from his marker. Methody did very well to force him into touch. But Campbell are where they want to be. They're deep in Methody's 22.
That's a Campbell scrummage because they were going forward. It's a good solid bit of scrummaging once again. Nicely picked up. Good driving by McCausland, who'd pop up in the middle of the park. Here come Campbell College again. They're only 6 or 7 metres from the Methody line. A try now may just clinch the cup for them. Less than 5 metres. Paul Eakin's having a good look. It's all got a bit slow. There's the drive. Methody need men in behind the ball. Terrific piece of Methody defence. That's a great bit of Methody defence.
Superb Methody defence there. Campbell starting to pit and goal off through the forwards. Methody's defence around the sides, the rucks and balls has been very, very strong, and knocking them back. To be fair, the defence of both sides all day has been tremendous.
Well, just to emphasise once again that when the two sides met earlier on in the season, Campbell College raced into a 17-0 lead, and then Methodist College came back to win that game 22-17. Campbell were 12-3 up at one stage. Mark Tile's try and Ryan Duffy's conversion made it 12-10, and we have just about 11 minutes plus a little bit of injury time of this game remaining. John Andrus, whose dad Stephen was a pretty useful scrum half for North of Ireland Football Club some years ago. He's a cousin of the Horners and a cousin of the Estonians family, the McKibbins. Good solid Campbell scrum and the Methody put in. Methody have had to pick up and drive it away. They need to retain possession. Sloan. McCadden. He's found Cartmill, giving Campbell a chance to attack. Terrific Methody tackle. Campbell look like they've retained possession. This is good driving forward. And Rory Kelso had stood back and had given great support. Wallace, Horner, McCausland, still there for Campbell. Robbie Ray has to go in and act as flank forward. Well away by Conor Thallen, well read by the hooker. Cartmill. That's meat and drink to Mark Tile. He didn't go for the mark. That's a bit loose. Great first up tackling by Campbell, which has been such a feature of their play this afternoon. Now it's McCadden, now it's Scott. Once again, good Campbell tackling, and they've regained possession. Play on, says the referee. Good advantage by Paul Eakin. And Campbell get the put in. We're into the last 9 minutes, plus a wee bit of injury time, Mark. Methody don't want to be here.
Great defence by Thomas Horner there in particular, and by the whole Campbell team, forcing Methody to run from deep. Methody are having to win the game from a long way back, and Campbell are just knocking them down as they have done all day.
Just Just about 4 minutes or so to go. 35 minutes, remember, in schools rugby. Wallace, Horner, and hint of an overlap. I think he created this as Cartmel. Good tackling by Scott and McLaughlin. Horner again. Clever little kick for Elliott to chase. Good position play by Cattile. Campbell College went back the 10 metres from Mark Cattile's little tap. Metheny will have to stretch this. McCadden, good support. But once again, the men in black close down the men in white. Williams, the captain, struggled to make this final because of an ankle injury, but here he is. This is McCadden looking for one last break. Lost the ball in the tackle. Robbie Sloan puts in the big hit. Good bit of driving. Referee seems to have played advantage. And he's kept the advantage going. That's well done. Surely the advantage is over by now. Look, McCadden took it outside his 22. That's all the way down to Cartmill. Horner. Just a couple of minutes remaining. Down goes McCausland, the former Methodist College pupil. But a bit of satisfaction he'll get if his side can hang on to win this game. Metheny, with 2 minutes to go and a bit of injury time, Mark, may be looking to force some kind of a penalty.
Well, at least they're in the Campbell College half now, Jim. They've got to have a chance. It is Campbell ball, and it's a crucial phase really for Metheny to knock them down. I'm sure Thomas Horner's just going to sit in the pocket and try and get the ball as far away from his post as possible.
Oh, Metheny have taken that against the head. This is Denny, but he's got to get it away. That tight game is not going to suit Metheny at this stage of the game. Wonderful tackling by Campbell. They lost the scrum. They knocked back the man with the ball, and they've regained possession. Horner. Deft little kick. Robbie Sloan has to go back. Beautifully done by Sloan. Terrific play by the little scrum half. Surely he was taken out. That's going to be a penalty where the ball landed. And as Robbie Sloan's little sleight of hand given Metheny the chance to steal this cup final, because Ryan Duffy is a left-footed kicker. It's on the right-hand side of the field. Sloan did well. No doubt about it, he was taken out by his opposite number, Neil Wallace.
Great bit of skill by Robbie Loan. I think it'll be a definite penalty, Jim. It's going to be a very, very difficult kick to win the match. A huge pressure kick for anybody, and it's a very, very difficult kick.
Well, Robbie Sloan continuing on in the great tradition of the Sloan family, and his uncle Wilton Payton actually captained the Campbell College side that won the Schools Cup here at Ravenhill way back in 1966. So the penalty is going to be where the ball landed, and will they call on Ryan Duffy to go for goal? And I think the answer would have to be yes. One remembers last year when Metheny won this cup final, and the inside half Glenn Telford missed with a very late kick which would have stolen the game. Well, sign of cramp coming in at this stage, but all eyes are going to be on the Methodist College goal kicker, and indeed they have called up Ryan Duffy. Rory Gledhill tries to stretch out the hamstrings of Richard Walsh, and it's going to be Ryan Duffy. Well, it was Robbie Sloan's little bit of enterprise that set up this situation. Would you like to be in this fella's boots, Mark?
Well, it's a big pressure kick, Jim. He struck the conversion of the last try extremely well. If he can keep his composure and go through the same routine again, but it's a very, very hard kick for any young man in this situation.
Well, he's not wasting any time. There's still a little bit of extra injury time to go. This to give Methodist College the lead for just the second time in this final, and what a time to do it. We're now into injury time. Duffy off the post, Campbell hack it away. This is Paul Marshall, who's come on the field looking for the corner. All the way across goes Bill Elliott, and Elliott, as he found his touch, he has wonderful angle kick. How unfortunate for Duffy. Off the post. Here comes Cattile, McCadden, McCausland. He had Williams outside him. Duffy's on, Marshall's on for the injured Sloan. Cattile, this is great stuff for Metheny. Here's Minnis, who so very nearly scored. He perhaps should have given that. took an extra yard out of it, still there for Methody. Paul Marshall, and he's run into one of his own players, and that's going to give Campbell the scrummage. You've got to feel for Ryan Duffy. He really couldn't have done much more, Mark.
He struck the kick beautifully, Jim, and he's very unfortunate. It rebounded off the post.
Well, maybe bearing in mind what happened last year when an Inns player missed with such a kick, just as might well have been done. The Methodist College have scored the only try of the game. It couldn't have been judged any better. Swept it in with the right foot, came off that upright tantalizingly, and have Methody's chances gone. We've now played 2.5 minutes. Ryan Duffy couldn't have really hit that any better. Bless his little socks.
Two incredibly evenly matched teams, Jim. They really have been fighting it out the whole way. Campbell College have taken every opportunity that's come their way today, which is maybe going to be the difference at the end.
Well, their tackling and their disruption of the Methody line-out have been the two features of the afternoon, plus some very clever kicking from this man, Thomas Horner, who's, has he found his touch, has bounced up for Cattile. Methody need to win this. Marshall needs to get it away. They have, and he has. This is McCadden. Denny, the number 8, popping up in the middle of the park. Campbell will desperately hang on. Not only have they hung on, but they've stolen it. Well, those conceded turnovers have been a contributing factor in Methody's defeat, if that's the way it's going to be. Clever kick from Wallace. Campbell College had a man offside. Michael Willis, who's done so much good work at the line-out, has got himself offside. Nobody leaving Ravenhill at all. 12-10 to Campbell College. This final still very much in the balance. Cattile going to put this as close, I'm sure, to the Campbell line as he possibly can. That's not a bad kick at all. Well, have they got time to do it, Mark? What do you think?
Jim, this is the last throw of the dice. I think they've got to keep the ball, whether it's a try or just keep the ball until Campbell gives a penalty away. But I think this is their last chance.
Methody shortened the line out, which has not operated really at full throttle all afternoon. That's better from Williams, the skipper. Marshall, now McCadden. Great tackling in the middle of the park by Eduque Ozigwe for Campbell College, and they put a man in the middle of the park every time, and if they turn this one over, I think the game is up for Methody. Paul McCausland puts it into touch, and how appropriate that Paul McCausland, who was a medallion shield winner with Methodist College, should have the final say in a Campbell College victory here over the holders, who are devastated. McCausland, like so many of the Campbell back division, tackled his heart out, and that was the difference between the sides. Methodist College, the cup holders, the cup favourites, probably cannot believe it, but they were out-generalled in many ways and beaten for possession, despite the efforts of Mark Cattile, who scarcely put a foot wrong, indeed scored the only try of the game, though I've got to say I felt that Stephen Minnis actually did get a perfectly good try just before that. This was Cattile's excellent effort, despite Michael Willis's tackle. Cattile got the ball down. It was Robbie Sloan, who had a terrific game at the base of the Methody scrum, sent his full back away, but all the accolades will now go to Campbell College, who have won the cup for the 22nd time in this, their 36th final. Not a classic game of rugby, two very well marshalled defences, but Campbell's appetite for possession, Mark, I think was such a major factor.
Two very, very good sides, Jim, two very evenly matched sides. Congratulations to Campbell College, I think, for taking all their opportunities that came their way, and for the strength of an unbelievably committed defence. They just about deserved to win that game.
I suppose one of the talking points is going to be not just Ryan Duffy's last-minute kick, which could so well have won it for Methodist College, but the Stephen Minnis try, which we felt was pretty valid.
Mark Cattile's try followed straight after that, so I don't think there'll be any complaints about that, to be fair. Ryan Duffy kicked his penalty as well as he possibly could. It came off the post. It's just one of those terrible things to happen to anybody. But I honestly think Campbell College, with their defence and with their opportunities that they took, deserved to win the game.
Well, delight for Campbell College. They've won this, the 2002 Renault Ulster Schools Cup final, by 12 points to 10. Couldn't have been closer. Confirmation of that final score: Campbell 12, Methody 10, and Stephen Watson, I think, is on touchline with a couple of fairly happy gentlemen.
Yes, absolutely, Jim. Thank you very much indeed. The jubilant Campbell coaching team with me, John McKinney and Brian Robinson. Great performance today and a real hard battle in the end.
It's very hard to remain composed at this minute in time. Every time we play Methodist College, it's very tight, in these circumstances, and nothing changed today. The way our boys came back in the last 15 minutes was to us absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of hard work has paid off, Brian.
Yeah, we started, basically Christmas was the starting point, and we did a bit of team building then, and that was testament. That last 15 minutes was a team sticking together, and that's what rugby's all about.
I was standing with you both beside the dugout. Very tense moments at the end, especially when that penalty came off the post.
That's sport. It's incredible. He was 15 in, the pressure on the schoolboys immense, and he struck it very well. And actually, where I thought it was over, and it just hit the bar, and we were lucky to get out of that. So it was as close as that.
It's a nice feeling for you, and obviously the celebrations going on just beside us here. It's a great moment for a schoolboy to win a Schools Cup.
It's something obviously he will never remember as a schoolboy. It's wonderful for the school in every respect, and we are absolutely delighted.
Well done. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How are you?
Cheers.
All right.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed. So Campbell have beaten the holders Methody by 12 points to 10, as Jim said there. Campbell winning it for the 22nd time. And Peter from Ballymena said it was a great game, an excellent advert for schools rugby. Well done. I think we can now say well done to the Campbell captain, who's with Stephen.
Peter, I have no talk back.
Stephen has no talk back.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Thomas Horner, the out halves with me. Well, how does that feel?
Oh, so words can't describe it. Brilliant feeling, best feeling ever. Fantastic, I'm totally knackered. Brilliant, brilliant feeling. Super.
You kicked your penalties well, and in the end it was enough for the team.
Yeah, had to take my chances. Happened in the second round as well, but it was a team effort. The team won. Super, super performance.
And I'm sure you, as a place kicker, your heart must go out to Ryan Duffy, the kick at the end off the post.
Yeah. Thankfully, he missed it, but yeah, it's tough. It will be tough.
Okay, enjoy the celebration. Thanks very much. Well
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Young Mr. Horner there, who didn't sit in the corner today, he scored 4 tries. He'll remember this day, Stanley.
For the rest of his life, there's no doubt about it. It's a great feeling. You can see he's just overwhelmed with excitement, and I'm sure he'll look forward to the next 24 hours and just to soak it all in.
He'll probably still be up in 24 hours.
He's probably very well.
As a Campbell old boy, you must be pleased.
I'm delighted for him. I unfortunately never got involved with the first team when I was there, but it doesn't matter. You went to school. You know how much emphasis is put on the Schools Cup when it comes around into the new year, and it's a great accolade for the school to have won it again and to get one, especially over the big rivals.
And Jimmy, as we could hear in that interview there with young Mr. Horner, who had a great day. I mean, the excitement is wonderful, isn't it, for these boys?
Obviously, I mean, it is a memory. There'll be many reunions for the next 50 years, as Methody are doing on this very day.
Yeah, there's Methody as we speak, Jimmy. They will be disappointed. They were coming into as strong favourites to this game, but they have lost by 2 points. More analysis in a moment, but I'll hand you back to Jim Neely to take us through the presentation ceremony. Jim.
Well, disappointment for those young men in the white jerseys with the Maltese crosses on there. Just coming forward to extend his sympathies is his Methodist College teacher there with the glasses on and the Methodist scarf. And that's Philip Marshall, an outstanding hockey player and an outstanding cricketer. And his son came on as a replacement for Robbie Sloan. So Methodist College, having won the cup last year and surviving a late-minute penalty attempt by Inst. And Dr. Wilfred Mulryan, the headmaster of Methodist College, has presided over many, many Schools Cup final victories. And he'll have to give best to his opposite number from Campbell College. Well, 1 or 2 Methody boys in tears. Mark Scott there in tears. And, well, you couldn't blame them. The biggest day of their lives for many, many of these boys. And for those boys in upper 6th form, they know that they'll never be back here at Ravenhill again. 1 or 2 of them will, and quite a lot of the Methody squad will be back next year, but they really felt that this was going to be their year. president of the Ulster branch of the Irish Rugby Football Union, Joe Wiggleton, former pupil of Grosvenor High School himself, the school that won the cup way back in 1983. Says a few words. David Denny, I think, will be pretty inconsolable, as indeed will the rest of this Methodist College side, who thought that this once again was going to be their year. They've had many, many years indeed. It's always one of the great occasions in Ulster rugby. The St Patrick's Day, or as near to St Patrick's Day as makes no difference final, as always since its inception, way back in 1876, attracted terrific crowds here to Ravenhill. Stephen Hilditch, former Irish international referee and the junior vice president of the Ulster branch of the Irish Rugby Football Union. Beside him, wife Anne. And Stephen was one of the outstanding referees in the modern game. Gave up refereeing just a couple of years ago and was chairman of the Ulster Schools Committee and presented the Ulster Schools players with their jerseys for the season at a little luncheon just a couple of weeks ago here at Ravenhill. Joe Wiggleton, the president of the Ulster branch, just thanking the sponsors, Renault, who've been involved in Ulster Schools Rugby for quite some time, and their support, needless to say, is very welcome and very vital at this part of the game. There's Joe Wiggleton, wrapping up his speech, we hope. Not to cut you off in your prime, Joey, but we could do with a presentation anytime you're ready. So, Michael Williams, the Methodist College captain, will come forward and receive their losers' medals. Michael Williams won a winner's medal last year, as did Luke McCadden and Mark Tile and Owen Crossy, Johnny McLaughlin and Stephen Minnis, and they'll have to be content with losers' medals from the representative of the sponsor. And then we will have the 2002 Cup winners from Campbell College. Robbie Sloan, who went off injured, having played such a terrific game. Johnny McLaughlin. And there's Mark Tile, the try scorer. Paul Marshall and the rest of the Methodist College replacements bench who weren't used. Barry James and Michael Alcorn, Scott Annette, Farzad Sadat, Finton Hilliard and Paul Gardner. Presentations of the mementos to the referee Paul Eakin and to his touch judges Jim Weiswood from Rainy Old Boys, Richard Manning from the city of Derry, and the reserve touch judge who's Greg McPhee. And the biggest cheer of the afternoon for the Campbell College side of 2002, who will come up and receive their medals. Scott Gardner, Honorary Secretary, will ask Neil McComb to come up and introduce his victorious Campbell College side.
Rob Ray, and Vice Captain.
His Vice Captain Robbie Ray, son of former Irish international referee Michael Ray. John Andress comes up. Glenn Moore, outstanding open side flanker. What a game he had this afternoon. Former Methodist College pupil, Paul McCausland, Ejike Azugwe. The goal kicking hero of the afternoon, Tom Horner, Johnny Cartmel. Wonderful moment for these young men. Big Adam Stewart, the tight head prop forward. Connor Thallon, the hooker, coming up.
Neil Wallace.
Scrum half Neil Wallace, who did something that older brothers Rory and Paddy couldn't do, and that's win an Ulster Schools Cup winners medal. And the Campbell College replacements panel: Kyle McJimsey, Michael McLaughlin, Philip Poots, Davy Cobain, Andrew Nixon, Michael Jemison and Jonathan Amos. And having introduced the team and replacements, the wife of the president of the Ulster branch of the IRFU, Mrs. Linda Eagleson, will present the oldest rugby trophy in the history of the Irish Rugby Football Union. The Ulster Schools Cup for 2002 goes to Campbell College and to its skipper Neil McComb. Well, that is a terrific scene. Wonderful support from Campbellians past and present as the side of 2002 lift the Schools Cup for the 22nd time. This their 36th final, and what a final it has been.
I just want to thank a few people who made this possible. First of all, our sponsors, David Lloyd, for the brilliant facilities we've used throughout the year. Also, we need to congratulate
Well,
Leslie.
apologies to Neil McComb, and needless to say, we'll record his words for posterity. But in the meantime, with Campbell College winning this cup by 12 points to 10, it's back to himself in the studio. Jackie.
Thank you very much indeed, Jim. Neil McComb there with the trophy, and the way he did those introductions, he could get a job on television. He might be in this chair in a couple of years' time, but well done to him. How would you sum up Campbell today?
Campbell's, I think the performance, I'm glad you mentioned McComb, because I think McComb began to control the thing at the game at the base of the scrum. He picked up and he drove, and he brought the rest of his pack into the game. The way he marshalled his forwards at breaks, the rucks in particular, and they were able to turn over an awful lot of ball. They deprived Methody of that continuity of play that Methody are so famous for. I thought the whole pack, the Campbell pack, was outstanding in the way that it just played as a cohesive unit. It was very difficult to pick out individuals. McComb was one, Adam Stewart was another, I think Glenn Moore was a third, but it was a tremendous team performance by the forwards in particular.
Okay, we can go back pitch side to Stephen. I think he's got the winning captain with him.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. McComb, the winning captain, is with me. Neil, you've got your hand.
Brilliant, you know, it's been a dream since I've been. It's amazing.
Tough slog to.
Well, the captain was doing his very best, but we obviously had a few little problems. We'll try and sort that out and get back to hear the skipper's winning words. Stanley, how did they win it?
I think in the units, really, there's specific units throughout a team that if they perform well, they're going to deprive the opposition, ball. At half-back, I thought they were very assured. Wallace and Horner particularly linked very, very well together. The front five, that extra bulk and weight, I think throughout the 80 minutes, wore down the Methody pack that were relying on a quicker rucking ball to move the ball away from the breakdown, and really disrupted them massively in that area. And then the back row, led obviously superbly by Neil McComb. I think really were winning the ground battle, so to speak, when the ball was on the deck, and that all together, came up with a team win.
Okay, it's Act 2 with the winning skipper. Here, Stephen.
Thank you, Jackie. Yes, take two. Neil's arms are getting sore holding this trophy, but I'm sure it's a feeling you won't tire of, Neil.
No, well, I'll remember this moment forever. It's just been a dream to get this, and to hold it and lift it in front of this crowd, it's amazing.
Yeah, great day for the school, but it was a tough battle today.
It was indeed. Credit has to go to Methody. They performed well. They dropped down a bit, but once they got that try, they came back at us, and it sort of brought out the defence side. What we needed. I think we sort of maybe dropped down a bit, but then we really need to focus and win this.
You really had to dig in the last 15 minutes, didn't you?
Yes, it was tough there. Everyone was getting cramped and tired, but it was just keeping focused, and just talking to each other, calming things down, and we come off with it in the end.
As a captain today, you led by example, but I'm sure your heart must go out to Ryan Duffy, whose penalty came off the post at the end.
Yes, it was one of those situations. They won or they lost, and thankfully, for us, it worked out for us. But you feel sorry for him, but he just has to forget it. He played well himself, and just really happy, to get in the final.
Okay, congratulations today. You enjoy your night and your celebrations. Well done.
Thanks very much.
I think he will enjoy the celebrations. What about Methody? It wasn't a great day at the office for them.
I think the first half they lost it because they missed their scoring opportunities then, and Davy Wells at half-time recognised that. But they weren't able to get back into the game in the second half in the way that they wanted to. They almost forced a score, and then they held the pressure on Campbell and then eventually got their score through Kyle. But they never had sufficient possession in the second half to be able to dominate the game. They normally play a fast rucking game, move it across the field, ruck again, move it again. They weren't able to do that because, in fairness to the Campbell's pack, they were very mobile, they got to the breakdown, and they won ball. I mean, they just didn't stop it. They actually won it, and allowed the Campbell side to counter-attack.
Stanley, would you go along with most of what Jimmy was saying there?
Yeah, definitely, and I think certainly they had a very, very good opening 15-20 minutes where they rocked really effectively, and the pace of the game was at their level. I think, you know, what happens at all, certainly at senior level, what has become more apparent in the modern game is trying to break down a wall of defence that are there in your face every time moving forward. And even at that level, senior level, that's the difficulty in scoring points. And at schools level, it's going to be even more insurmountable for the team to do that. And Campbell had that wall of defence pressing forward on the front foot throughout the 80 minutes, and it proved very frustrating, and that's, you know, what wore them down in the end.
Yeah, and Jim Neely was saying in commentary, Campbell defence was outstanding.
It was, and it's because they were there as a unit, and a black wall, and it must have been very frustrating for the half-backs of Methody every time they looked up. Take nothing away from Kyle. I thought for me he was outstanding, and you know, of all the players certainly on the pitch, as individual skill goes, he was the outstanding talent, and it's just a shame for him that he was on the losing team.
Yeah, and a big talking point of the second half. 20 minutes left. Methody try or not, it wasn't given, but I think we can have a look at it. Jimmy?
It was a short line out, and Stephen Minnis takes it to the front. It makes a great burst for the line and is then actually pulled over the line. Now, I think in fairness, the referee was unsighted, and the referee has probably made the right decision. It's very difficult for us even to see the ball here, but Minnis made a lovely break, and he's then actually pulled over the line.
You think there it's going to happen, but did he get it done?
Could well be.
It's not really clear, Stanley.
No, it's not, and even my bias aside, when I saw it first in replay, I didn't think he'd got the ball grounded. I thought Wallace has done superbly well in defending that. Again, with the referee being not clear, he has to go for the 5-metre scrum. So, but they got their score shortly after that. Kyle came in, made a good set and scored a try, so I don't think they'll harp on about that too much.
It was a big turning point, wasn't it?
There was one aspect of the try. The referee immediately signalled to a 5-metre scrum, whereas he might very well have looked to his touch judge, and I don't believe he did. That's why you have a touch judge. That was a great score by Kyle, taking a little short ball from the scrum.
Short time after.
Beautiful,
yes,
beautiful step off the left foot.
Son of Wes.
You know, he just looks exactly like his father. But that's a beautiful little touch. Perfect balance, lovely distribution with the right left hand.
Yeah.
I think we have seen a talent in the making there, and I'm sure that young Clark, when he's watching that for the developments,
Alan Clark,
I'm sure he will be delighted to see that sort of talent available.
So young Kyle's try, the conversion, 12-10. It was game on at that stage, wasn't it?
It was very much game on, and you know, with the young nerves dangling, you would have thought Campbell, you know, I was looking at them and, you know, are they going to hold that same stature that it had? And they did. They kept that wall of defence there and trusted themselves. They didn't panic. They kept just trying to hold on to the ball at their pace, you know, with trying to just pick and go, to suck in the Methody defenders and put it into the corner when they needed to. So it was a lot of maturity, especially around the back row and the half-backs there, and controlling that when you would have thought, you know, they would have been up for crumbling.
Yeah, we look at the heartbreak for Ryan Duffy, who missed that penalty in injury time to win the game, but we can go pitch side again and join Stephen.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Yes, I've got the Campbell vice-captain Robbie Ray and John Andres with me. Lads, let's have a look at the medals first of all. It's just very nice. Nice feeling?
Yeah, it's a brilliant feeling. Couldn't believe it whenever the last penalty. Thought the game was over. They hit the post and I didn't know what to think. Like, we're so pleased, just got it right back up the field again. So.
Did you watch the penalty or not?
No, I turned away and then I saw everyone looking. I thought it was over, and then I just saw the ball coming down beside me and realised we were still in the game. So.
And I assume it's a lot of hard work which has paid off for you.
Yeah, well, the past 2 weeks we've worked really hard in training. I mean, we've heard a few words that maybe the pack was a bit brittle, it broke down near the end, but we put in the fitness and endurance work, and our coaches have helped us along quite a lot, and I think the pack and the back line put in a very solid performance for 70 minutes today.
Yes, it was a real team effort, was it? Forwards and backs combined today?
Yeah, I think we worked as a unit, and that's what we've been trying to do all season.
Good atmosphere in the Campbell squad this season?
Brilliant. There's a real closeness about it. You know, we've been away for a couple of squad weekends and just nights out, just for a meal or something, and there's been really good vibe and atmosphere about the place. So,
now, as schoolboys, what does it mean to you to win the Schools Cup here at Ravenhill in front of a huge crowd?
Biggest day of my life. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've wished for it all season. We've worked towards it, and it's unreal. I mean, it hasn't even set in yet.
Robbie?
Yeah, it's basically the same. Like, couldn't believe it. best day of my life so far in rugby terms, you know, and I'd love to go through it all again. Can't wait to watch it whenever we go back home.
Well, you enjoy yourselves and behave yourselves tonight. Have a good time. Cheers, well done. Thank you.
Stephen, smaller than I thought. I've got a couple of emails here. Paul Gillen says, well done, Campbell. They deserve to win. And from John Stewart, hard luck to Methody and Ryan Duffy. He was unfortunate with his last kick. Now, before we see that kick, that is pressure, isn't it?
I think it's
injury time, kick to win it.
Incredible pressure for a young lad of 17 years of age. He took the kick beautifully. He was just unfortunate in they hit the post and it ricocheted. I noticed the Methody players had not been very quick following up, and they might have just capitalised on it. But I don't think Duffy should take any criticism whatsoever. I would hate to be in a position like that. We've all seen the penalty kick in soccer too.
Of course, of course. I have missed some of my time. But Stanley, real pressure for the boy.
It was, and in fairness to him, he showed a lot of maturity. He went through the same routine. He didn't, take too much time. He didn't go quick. He set up and he struck the ball really well. He was a little bit inconsistent with the striking the ball throughout the game, but he hit that one beautifully, and that's just really bad luck. And unfortunately, he'll probably not have good memories of that tonight. But hopefully, it doesn't weigh on his mind too much in the future.
Yeah, sadly, the winners we're talking about, they'll never forget this day, and young Ryan will remember it for the wrong reasons, won't he? What about Methody coach? That marvellous man, Davy Wells.
Well, I think...
You know him well, he'll be very disappointed.
He will be, but I think all of the coaches at schools level, not just the three that we've seen, but all of the coaches do such a thoroughly good professional job. They're not just solely concerned about developing the players in terms of rugby. They want to educate them, give them a broad education. I'm sure that Ryan Duffy will be taken aside by Davy Wells, and Davy will counsel him. These boys, both John McKinney, Brian Robinson, and David Wells are all life counsellors, and these boys will develop their character. They'll come back better people as a result of their defeat.
Yeah, you mentioned the Campbell coaches there, John McKinney and Brian Robinson. John McKinney it was, after the match, was saying it was hard to keep the composure. You can understand that.
Well, coming from him, I couldn't imagine him losing his composure, because he's renowned for holding it at all times. But you could see just the excitement. It means so much to him. And to the school, because he's been there for a long time, and Brian as well, and they're both very delighted, and I look forward to shaking their hand later on and congratulating them.
But when you look at this, when you think of some of the Ulster matches we do here and the crowds we get, and it's live television, big crowd again today, live television, I mean, what a great lift for rugby, really.
Definitely. I mean, it's been a huge boost. I mean, you look at the crowds over the last couple of years coming, how they've increased to come and support Ulster at senior level. The Schools Cup has always had a good, supporting in the semis and the final, and it can only bode well. There's a new structure in their place with Mark McCall and Alan Solomons, and hopefully, on the successes of this and Ulster's success this season at senior level, and now with Alan Clark and there's development of the youth, there's structures being put in place for the future of the game to hopefully develop it further.
Do you enjoy it today, Jimmy?
Oh, I enjoyed it immensely. It does my heart good to see young players just developing in the way that they are. I mean, the modesty that was displayed by the winning side.
Yes.
And we haven't seen the disappointment of the losing side. But I'm sure they'll handle it very, very well.
Wouldn't it be great to be young again? It'd be nice to be starting over again. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your help. Well, as promised, it's back to Gaelic football and highlights of yesterday's All-Ireland Club final in Thurles, where the Ulster side Ballinderry were up against Nemo Rangers. It was Ballinderry's first time in the All-Ireland final, the biggest day in the club's history, and Ballinderry, well, they certainly made it a day to remember. On commentary, Marty Morrissey.
Much of the pre-match hype centred on this man. Scorer of 9 points in the semi-final. This one comes off the post. It's loose, it's still there. And Ballinderry survive a very anxious moment as Ronan McGuckian wins himself a free to his brother Adrian. There was a chance there just for a moment for Nemo, as centre forward John Paul O'Neill almost rattled the net. Conleth Gilligan. Not a good ball. Stephen O'Brien seems to have switched back in around the fullback area, keeping an eye on big end of Muldoon. Ballinderry chasing, harassing everything, and this is Muldoon. After after sneaking into a good position. Stephen O'Brien stands guard. Muldoon swings the left leg. And the first score of the match after almost 5 minutes of play. Big Enda Muldoon at the end of a move created through a lot of hard work by Ballinderry further out the field, but finished splendidly by the big Derry star. Niall Geary. Corkery misses it. Alan Cronin doesn't. Kevin McGuckian staying goal side. And under pressure forces Alan Cronin into the air. Maurice McCarthy again wins possession, but there was a foul as Maurice McCarthy was attempting to make a pass.
Give a call again, Niall. Give a call, Enda. Go away. Go away.
Second attempt for Colin Corkery. The first came off the post. The second goes straight over the crossbar. And again they'll aim it long at Colin Corkery. Ronan McGuckian. Referee Seamus McCormack claims he picked the ball off the ground. It's an easy free to concede. And particularly when amongst the opposition is a chap called Colin Corkery. Nemo playing with the breeze in this opening half as Colin Corkery sends this over the bar for his second point. Ballinderry players are objecting, saying it was clearly wide. But the score stands. And for the first time, the Cork and Munster champions lead. Stephen O'Brien punching it down to Niall Geary. John Paul O'Neill, Colin Corkery. Overlap provided by Maurice McCarthy. This is good play by Nemo. Derek Kavanagh at the end of a defence-splitting move. This is the sort of play that we expect from Nemo Rangers. Short, passing, ending with a fine score. Joe Kavanagh sending it in long towards Alan Cronin, and again it's Enda Muldoon that's back there. Operating now in the full and half-back line. Up to Conleth Gilligan. We haven't seen too much of him so far. Look at the space given to Adrian McGuckian. He has little or no support. 3 Nemo players around him. Given back to Darren Conway. Don Heaphy, chance of a goal! Declan Bateson gets the vital touch as Don Heaphy came off his line to assist Sean O'Brien. Here comes the cross. And look out for the number 13 here, coming in. Heaphy was off his line, Bateson beat the keeper. And Ballinderry get a vital score. Darren Crozier. Up towards Darren Conway. Coming from right half back is Paul Wilson. Back to Conleth Gilligan. This is quite superb. Top scorer for the Derry and Ulster champions with a goal and 18 points in this campaign. He opens his account after 26.5 minutes with a wonderful point. Paul Wilson involved, Conleth Gilligan winning 5 of the last 6 Man of the Match awards as Ballinderry progressed to this All-Ireland final. John Paul O'Neill. Colin Corkery given a little bit of space by Niall McCusker. And Corkery punishes the mistake by the full-back with his first point from play. Good response by Nemo. But you can see here, given way too much latitude, and a well-taken score by the big number 14. Just informed here at Semple Stadium that there's going to be 2 extra minutes in this first half. Maurice McCarthy. Back to Kevin Cahill. Martin Cronin available this side. Floating it in to the full forward line. Joe Kavanagh. Oh, that's a great point. 5 points in the championship campaign. The Cork footballer and Nemo star gets one of the finest scores you're going to see in Semple Stadium. The teams level now for the second time. Well, it's turning out to be a most entertaining game of football. Here's the goal scorer, Declan Bateson. Paul Wilson off the post, and most unfortunate. Wilson coming forward as he is inclined to do. Most unlucky. Maurice McCarthy working hard right from the beginning of this final, keeping Paul Wilson occupied. Alan Cronin beaten to it by Kevin McGuckian. Deemed to be an elbow challenge by Maurice McCarthy. And it's another free for Ballinderry. Sean Donnelly. Bateson can't reach it. Sean O'Brien. Small in stature, but large in skill. Alan Cronin. Giving it over first, Joe Kavanagh onto that trusty left boot, which this time disappoints. Incredibly, that's Nemo's first wide in this All-Ireland final. Ballinderry keeping an eye on the breaking ball around midfield. Conleth Gilligan running onto it here. Taken on by Niall Geary. Gets away from Geary. Strong, in control. Good skill to Darren Conway. Can Ballinderry go in leading at half-time? There's every possibility as Conway gets his first point in this final. A man who has contributed 2 goals and 7 points in their progression to this final. A very accurate, hard-working wing forward. And a very happy one as well. Ballinderry's goal by Declan Bateson is the first conceded by Nemo Rangers in this championship campaign. Will it be the goal that will see Nemo lose their second All-Ireland club final in a row? They now have to face the breeze in this second half. Niall Geary again operating at centre half back for this second period. Enda Muldoon making himself available and feeding Conleth Gilligan. Adrian McGuckian. Barry McCusker sent straight over the bar. Wonderful start by the Derry and Ulster champions. sending out a clear message to the famous Nemo Rangers that they really do intend to win their first All-Ireland title. Good work by Darren Crozier. Gives it to Niall McCusker. Paul Wilson gets Conor Gilligan involved. Sean Donnelly. Knocked down. Chance here for Jared Cassidy. And it's a second point in the space of 2.5 minutes of the second half. Very good play again by Ballinderry. Cassidy. It was easy, really. Sean Donnelly. Making the run is the captain, Adrian McGuckin. Paul Wilson. Only one Ballinderry player around the Nemo goalposts. Jared Cassidy. Declan Bateson gets the rebound and sends it over the bar. A goal and a point from the corner forward. A member of the Derry panel of 1993. Line ball Nemo. Don Heafy. Stephen O'Brien. And again they build from the back. But under pressure, concede possession. Ronan McGuckin to Conor Gilligan. Chasing is Maurice McCarthy. Gilligan feeding Jared Cassidy, and that has gone over the bar. Elementary mistakes by Nemo. Tremendous pressure by Ballinderry. Forcing the mistake again. Regaining possession and punishing the slack passing by Nemo. Conor Gilligan, the centre half forward, has now been shown a yellow card. Free by Martin Cronin. John Paul O'Neill. Back out towards Derek Kavanagh. Took his eye off it slightly. Cronin uses Gary Murphy. That's a very good score. Nemo will be patient, but they have to work very, very hard to try and create space to take scores like this. The point scorer, Gary Murphy. Kevin Cahill. Martin Cronin. Ball inside, far as Dylan Meagan. Can he get a boot to it? John Paul O'Neill! And it's over the bar. The mighty men of Nemo are responding to the challenge being posed here by Ballinderry. And Ballinderry certainly were under pressure here. Joe Kavanagh taking on his direct opponent. And Kevin McGuckin concedes the free. Colin Corkery. 2 out of 4 attempts from free successful. Make that 3 out of 5. His 4th point of the game. from a 5-point advantage. Minutes ago, it's down to now just 2 points. And just in case the point is lost, Nemo are playing against the very strong breeze. Stephen Callanan, former Cork footballer, onto the left boot, and Nemo are back in business. Ten minutes ago, it looked as if Ballinderry had one hand on the Andy Merrigan trophy. That grip has certainly been lost. Nemo have regained their grip at centre field. John Paul O'Neill, Callan to his right, Corkery to his left, and the ball literally taken out of his grasp. And Ballinderry survive. Conley Gilligan. Their character going to be tested here by the 6 times All-Ireland club champions. Nemo mess it up. There's a chance here of a goal to wrap it up. Gerard Cassidy! No goals conceded in their campaign to Semple Stadium, and they concede what must be considered by neutrals as 2 very, very soft goals. Here's the second, and possibly the most crucial. McGuckian beating Gerard Cassidy. Nemo had the situation under control, and they messed it up. If Gerard Cassidy puts this over the bar, it'll be the first point from a place ball in this game for Ballinderry. 2 goals and 7 points have come from play. Just 1 from a free. Ball breaks down for Darren Conway. And another point from play. Second by Conway. An incredible performance now by Ballinderry. As we now have officially 2 minutes added time on here in this final. Adrian McGuckin. Good vision. Over far as Martin Harney. Conley Gilligan. Declan Bateson. It's 2 against 2. And Gilligan finishes the All-Ireland club title off with a great point. The Derry men travelled past Kilkenny last night. They travelled to Thurles today, and history is about to unfold here on this famous ground with Ballinderry's first ever All-Ireland club football title, and famous Nemo Rangers suffer for the 2nd year in a row All-Ireland Cup final defeat. Brian McIver, the Ballinderry manager, besieged by media people along the sideline. It's a great day for Ballinderry, based on the shores of Lough Neagh on the Derry-Tyrone border. They've come a long way, and today they've been crowned All-Ireland club champions.
And especially I want to salute Ballinderry. It's been a great occasion for them, the small parish on the boundaries of Tyrone and Derry, beside the lough, the team that have come back from the youth policy of a few years back. It's a great credit to them and to the people of Derry. I sincerely congratulate them, and I want to say today, it's a proud day for the Northerners going home. So to Adrian McGuckin, congratulations. To Ballinderry, congratulations. Well done.
7 times they've won the Derry Championship, twice the Ulster Club, and today Ballinderry are All-Ireland club champions for the first time. The Andy Merrigan Trophy will reside on the shores of Lough Neagh for the next 12 months.
Yes, indeed. History there for Ballinderry, winning that All-Ireland club title for the first time. The 5th Ulster side to win the All-Ireland. Martin McHugh is back. They remember that day, won't they?
Yeah, there'll be big celebrations in Ballinderry, I'd say, for the next year. Great performance, Jackie. What was good about it was their ability tackling. They knew that Colin Carty could punish them with frees, but they worked tremendously hard in tackling and got in there. And I mean, the goals came from situations where they worked hard. And I mean, it's a great example of tackling. We saw St Michael's Enniskillen something similar today, and it's becoming a very, very big part of Gaelic football, and Ballinderry were brilliant at it.
Every paper I was reading, Ballinderry were talking, they were full of confidence, and I always worry about that. Can you deliver on the day? But they did.
Yeah, they're a young team and they're winners. They've won everything up through underage and everything else. And winners is an important thing to have in Gaelic football, and that's what they're about. And they work tremendously hard for each other. They play the simple thing. Conleth Gilligan, who was probably got man of the match 5 times before, didn't play that well yesterday. It went over on somebody else's shoulders, and you had Declan Bateson scored 1-1 in the corner. A very experienced player. Took his goal very, very well. Showed bravery, which is very, very important. Gerard Cassidy in the other corner, 1-4. Scored. These players have come good, and that's a good situation to have. You're not dependent on 1 or 2 players. Maybe that's what happened from Nemo's point of view. They were totally dependent on a couple of players. Yeah, because Nemo were going in as favourites, weren't they? Yeah, they were favourites, and they got that experience. And maybe it comes down to the country club against the city club or something like that. There's more spirit, and the fact that the game wasn't thorough, and Ballinderry travelled down overnight, got that bond together as a team, where Nemo probably came up in the morning for the match. But Ballinderry, they looked the hungrier team, and they showed everything that's good about Gaelic football. They worked tremendously hard. Enda Muldoon didn't have one of his games like he's used to having, but he worked hard and simple things right, and that's what's important. And their homework, you can see that they did their homework on every team they played against. They had worked out different things to switch Muldoon maybe from the middle of the field inside when they need a player inside, drop him back in that situation. Other players drop their 2 wing half forwards back and work hard as a unit. And I think that you'll see it watching Ballinderry. It's something that has to come into Gaelic football. The minute the other team has the ball, from corner forward back to the goalkeeper, working hard. And that Declan Bateson goal in the first half, it was a great boost at a good time for them, wasn't it? Yeah, the goals came at important stages. Goals won matches, and the goals we saw today, even the goal for Enniskillen finished off the match. The same thing today. It's important to get a goal at important stages, and they were capable of doing it. And I think the same thing in the Ulster final, when Mayo Bridge got a goal, doing right up the field and got a goal at the other end, putting Muldoon inside and goal. And that's a good sign of a team. They're working that on the field themselves. And the other thing with Bateson, he's about 5'6", and I mean, he showed great bravery. The goalkeeper coming out, and he got in there, and that was an important score. Yeah, and then Gerard Cassidy, I think it was about 9-10 minutes left. That was a great time to get a goal as well, and the heads of Nemo might have dropped a bit. Yeah, well, Nemo at that stage come back to within a point, and it was an important stage. Again, it come down to tackling, and normally you see backs tackling, but it was the forwards that got in the tackles and worked hard to stop Nemo getting out of defence, and they cut it down. And Adrian McGuigan, in fairness to him, going back to the Mickey Lynn James McCartan goal in the All-Ireland final, he wasn't selfish. He could have went for his own score, laid it inside to Cassidy, finished easily. Doesn't matter who gets the goal as long as you get it. But it was the working. If you have forwards that work like that, they'll never be out of a game because they keep working hard. And Ballinderry deserve their victory. It's great for Ulster football. It's a great start. I was going to say, what is this? What sort of boost is it for Ulster club football and Ulster football? Yeah, it's a great boost for Derry first of all, and it's a brilliant boost for Ulster football. It's important now, to be great now. We see the Sam coming back to Ulster as well, and that's a good lift. They showed. It's overdue, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is, Jackie. There's no doubt about that. And I think there's a lot of teams there knocking on the door. I think the Ulster Championship is going to be tough this year again. And I think that this year is a great lift. They showed that an Ulster team can go down there, produce the goods, and show the character, which was important when it was asked of them. When Nemo put it up to them, they showed the character in both halves, the first half and the second half. And it's great to see an average age of 23 years of age. They've a big future ahead of them. I know teams like Balahi now, they're meeting them, and what a game that's going to be in the first round of the Derry Championship. And that's the kind of matches you need. But Ballinderry deserve their victory, and they deserve it for the work they put in and the way they went out in the field, and they all had their job to do, and they were very, very relaxed with what they were doing, and they knew what they were about. And the manager, Brian McIver, he'll be a folk hero in that part of the world, won't he? Yeah, definitely, because it's a big place for Gaelic football, and everybody, I would say the whole Ballinderry, as they say, the last person out, I would say, heading for third, let's turn out the light. And God knows when they'll come back, some of them, but I think it's important. He's been a great manager, and fair play to him, first year in there. The business, they were beaten in 2 county finals before that. He came in there, and to go on to win an All-Ireland club is a great achievement. Yeah, well, earlier we were watching the McCrory Cup final, and St Michael's of Enniskillen beat Omagh CBS in that 112 to 1-5, and really they deserved it, didn't they? Yeah, there was only one team in it, Jackie. I mean, at a stage in the second half, right, Omagh came back into it. But I think, again, it was the problem from Omagh's point of view is the big names didn't play. And St Michael's Enniskillen, they played well. And Sherry in the middle of the field got 3 points from play. That was important. Ryan Keane in the full forward won every ball went in, especially the first half when they needed him, and kicked 2 very, very important scores. I think it's important. And the other thing, free taking was important, and Omagh's free taker, Joe McCarroll, was off today, just, and that made a difference. We even saw it here in the rugby today. A width of a post made the difference in winning and losing, and I think that it shows you that free taking is very important.
And just before we go, did you enjoy the rugby here? You were watching it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. It was really, really good. I was along with Philip Rainey, the Irish fullback over there, and he was telling me all the rules and everything else, and I really enjoyed it, Jackie.
Okay, Martin, thank you very much indeed. So there we are. We've just seen them. Well done to Ballinderry yesterday, the history makers. Today, it's commiserations to Omagh CBS losing out in the McCrory Cup, and to Methody in the rugby final. But it's celebration time for St Michael's Enniskillen in that McCrory Cup. And for Campbell, well, for the men in black, it was all white on the night. From all of us here, hope you've enjoyed it. Bye-bye.